hosts, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
And holding a brand new first edition Dangle Navy jersey, if you're watching, and if you're not, you should check out sdpn.ca, is Steve Dangle. He's got it up right now. Look at that. It's even got the stitching on the back. And by the way, Jesse, I really love the effort that went into the types of this particular... Jesse's a font guy, by the way. I don't even know this about Jesse or
Big
not.
font guy?
But
Jesse
look at,
Blake?
like, he could have just gone with normal letters, but these are like...
No, that's tungsten semi-bold is the name of the
Why
font.
did you pick this?
Very important.
It's a very good font.
It is a very good font.
It's our font we use mainly on a lot of our graphics. Mm-hmm. So yeah, tungsten semi-bold, great font.
Love it. Gorgeous jerseys, man. Gorgeous.
12's your hockey number?
It always has been. It was like I was away for the day where they picked jerseys the first year, and I was playing for Team TD Bank in House League. And then when I got back, 12 was the only one that was left. So
that's a good number, though.
So I ended up with 12. Yeah, well, everybody wanted 13 because of Matt's.
Oh, yeah, that's
14
funny.
because of Brendan Shanahan. He was a big deal at the time, right? And then I don't know who had 15 or whatever, but like nobody wanted 12. Nobody ever wanted 12. I don't know why. So I think Patty Marleau had it in Toronto. I think of like famous players that had the number 12, and it's like it's pretty.
There have been several.
Have there?
Jesse, what do you got?
My jersey number is 5.
Ooh.
Yeah, so 5's been my lucky number, and it's been my sports number because of two individuals mainly. Carlos Delgado, he was 25, and Vince Carter, he was 15. So those are my 8 through 12 sports idols. So they both had 5 in their number. So then I took the 5, and that became my sports number. Yeah, and so Blake 5.
And Steve, you've had a sordid history with numbers.
Yes.
What number are you going with now?
I'm going with 20 now.
Why 20?
So I originally had 10 because back in the day, Mrs. Dangle wanted to get me a Leafs jersey because I didn't have one. Mm-hmm. But she didn't know what number to put on the back. So she spoke to Justin Fisher. Or no, I'm getting ahead of myself. I had a suspicion she was going to get me a jersey. So I dropped hints that I wanted a certain player. So I tried to think of a player who I thought was going to be a Leaf for a long time. So I said Alex Steen.
In retrospect, you should have been right about that.
I 100% should have been right about that.
The fact that they fired him through a cannon for Lee Stempniak.
Here you go. Along with Carlo Koliakovo.
Yeah.
Here you
promising
go.
Young defenseman Carlo Koliakovo.
Don't worry about it. First rounder, screw him. Don't need him. Here you go. Lee Stempniak. So, but it was Justin Fisher who came up with the idea, no, don't get Steen in case he gets traded. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Get Dangle on the back. So I was Dangle 10. And then when George Armstrong passed this past season, 10 is his number. It's retired as a Leaf number, and I wear a Leaf jersey in my video. So I was like, no, that's not right. So I went with 20. And it was immediately taken by, I don't even remember the guy's name. Who did they get from Columbus? He played 2 games.
Oh, from Columbus?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. What?
Riley
Okay.
Nash.
Oh, that. Yeah. Right. Riley Nash was a Leaf.
Riley, I know, for 2 games.
And it was so short that I think because he was injured, right? He wasn't very good.
It was a conditional 7th round pick. He played 2 games. 2 is more than 25% of 7, so it upgraded to a 6th round pick.
Ooh.
And now 20 is taken by Nick Ritchie this year. So.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay.
He
didn't know.
I don't think Nick Ritchie's having his number retired. No offense to Nick Ritchie, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Fun fact about Steve: you don't play for the Leafs, so
I do.
You have no ownership over those
I
numbers.
do. I 100% do. How dare you?
I'm just saying. You can't be upset about somebody taking 20 because you have no ownership over those numbers because you will never skate for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Unfortunately,
you don't know that.
I don't know it for sure, but I'm gonna take the chance that it doesn't happen.
Am I dead?
No.
There's time.
There is. I'm not saying it's not impossible. It's not possible, but I'm just saying it's very unlikely.
Right. Okay.
Also, if you want one of these jerseys, you can never get them because this is the first edition run. They'll never be produced again. The next edition that'll come out will be the second edition.
Right, now.
Which is coming in time for Christmas.
Okay. As in you'll be able to buy them and they'll be here in time for Christmas,
Yes.
right? It won't be at Christmas that you'll be purchasing. Because it does, By the
They
way,
go
it
on
takes
sale December 24th.
it takes time to get them and then send them out. Like, because actually, it's different with our clothes. If you buy our clothes, it comes directly from the company. But this one, it goes to Jesse's house, and he literally sits there and packages it and then sends it out.
I love these
can't
jerseys
believe that.
because on the second edition, I'm going to do a full, more of a package when you get the jerseys. But they're 100% Canadian made. So like I designed them on my computer. There's a company in Kitchener who makes great hockey jerseys. We sent them the designs, logos. They do the hand stitching.
It's gorgeous. Like it really is.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I got to put mine on.
Yeah.
How have you not put it on? You have a Captain C on yours and everything.
Right? You got to throw that on. So like, yeah, they do it. They went through so much quality control, just sending me back and forth the logos and the designs and
Do they
prototypes.
listen too?
What do you mean?
Do they know who they're making this for?
They know.
Like do they know the fan group? Like the insane fans that are getting
I
this?
don't think they know how intense it is. Like who's actually getting their
these jerseys are going to get well used by the Dangle Navy. I know that.
Oh yeah.
Well, how many jerseys were there to order?
Quite a bit, but they all sold out very quickly.
Yeah.
And they weren't like, oh, it's 100 jerseys. That's
No,
50.
they're
People always
used to
order
making
100.
them for big teams. They're making for like leagues.
This is a
and
big
stuff.
team.
So,
It's a big team.
So when I was like, okay, we need all of these jerseys, they're like, okay, we'll do that, and it'll take about 9 weeks. So the shipping date on the site was September 15th, and I was very proud because I sent out about half of them yesterday, so we're ahead of schedule, and the rest will go out today and tomorrow, and we made our date, and they'll be in everybody's hands when UPS and FedEx picks them up and drops them at your front door.
Way to go, Pierre. We're ahead of schedule.
Right?
Deep cut.
Yeah. You know what? I have to say, and you have to understand this from our perspective, is that Jesse is extremely particular. And and what I mean by this is that a lot of care went into this. A lot of care. And I think that we need to acknowledge that. We need to celebrate that. And when you are getting a copy of these, it's like, I mean, it's not a copy, it's the real thing. And these are real jerseys. Now, the other thing I want to say.
Even down to the packaging, I got some sustainable packaging. So the mailer that it comes in, it's 100% recyclable. And it's reusable, too, if you want to reuse it. And it'll be sustainable for the earth. And it won't just sit in the landfill somewhere.
Jesse,
You throw it in a garden.
I am
awesome.
always impressed by Jesse Blake. Aren't you? You're just an impressive guy. Oh my goodness.
The next one's gonna be our own packaging. I've already started on that. It's gonna be made in Canada SDPN packaging. But for the first edition, we want a compostable
Who are you,
mailer.
Steve Jobs?
Yes, we're gonna get our own packaging. It's gonna be awesome.
That's insane.
I've started working on that already because the second edition's coming in a couple months. I need to get prepared for like an October buy date and then November ship date.
And the first edition, it's very special. Like, it's
Yes.
very, very cool. And so here's the thing. There are people listening to this going, I don't give a shit about everybody else. Why? I didn't know about this. Now I'm missing out on the first edition. Now tell me this. If I am one of those people who's yelling at us on screen or yelling at their car stereo right now, what's the best way to find out about these jerseys being released right now?
Okay, so there's two main ways we communicate with you guys, the audience who I'm talking to right now. One is our website and the mailing list. So that's just direct when there are product releases, when we have new announcements, like we did our episode, when we moved up to 3 episodes a week, we sent out an invite on an announcement on our mailing list. When there's new product like the jerseys, you get it right to your email inbox. So subscribe to that, get on the mailing list, and you'll always get updates about inventory on the website. It's great. Second place is our Discord now. Now we have, join our Discord. We have an announcement channel where we just send out little announcements there. I believe there's an SDPN like merch updates one. So I'll flood that when the new jerseys are coming up and released. So yeah, sign up for the mailing list, join our Discord. That's how we communicate with you guys. That's how you get in touch with the show.
Right. Ooh. Just saying.
I like what we're doing. I like hanging out with you guys.
I like what Jesse's
again.
doing.
I like what Jesse's doing. I like you watching.
Yeah.
I like this jersey. I like everything.
And there is lots more exciting stuff happening very, very soon. Things that, like, we keep saying that. And it's funny, like, we keep getting closer. It's funny. I don't know if you've ever driven towards a mountain before or a mountain range before. But every time you think you're closing in, it's like, oh, no, we've still got a long ways away. Like a long ways to go. And apparently when this is super old history, but apparently when the first European settlers came to North America in the West and they saw the mountain range, they're like, oh, we must be half a day's walk from there. And 3 days later, they're like, we must be at least a day's walk away.
God.
And it's because the mountains are so big, right?
Right.
So here's the thing. We keep inching closer to the big mountain of announcements that we have. But every single time we think we're almost there, and this is us, we can't. Something's like, no, you're not there yet. And we're right freaking there with a couple of things that I know are going to be so exciting. They're going to be the kind of thing like think new studio big.
Whoa.
Because we had the new studio.
Whoa.
Bigger
than a studio.
In fact, I actually think way bigger than the studio because there's a lot more in it for you listening than us in our cool studio and being friends and up close again. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys really have nothing to do with the studio. You
Well,
you don't get to come hang out with us here.
I think we're all excited, which means the fans are excited, which means the Ottawa Senators are excited, which means Eugene Melnick is excited.
The sponsors are excited.
Sponsors are excited. I forgot that one. Thank you very much. Oh, God.
We made T-shirts with that back in the day. Do you
Yes,
remember
we
that?
did. Yes,
Yeah.
we sold like 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Man, I
They
wonder if
had
I-
the recycling logo. You know how the recycling goes in a circle?
Yes, I remember that. Oh my god! You know that was 3-4 years ago now.
The
Wasn't it?
Borietsky interview? Yeah.
It's a long time. Long time.
That was 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
The long ago.
Long.
In the before times.
In the before times. That's what I call pre-COVID now.
I think I think we gotta. I forgot, and this is terrible because we're so close to hockey season, and I don't think anybody's really realized that yet.
No.
Like it is as of this recording, September the 14th. The season starts in a month.
Less.
What's the day?
October 13th, I think, is the first Leaf game.
Okay, so there you go.
I think the season might even start on
Steve
the
is
12th.
Steve is really upset with me rounding down there.
Yeah,
September
I
14th,
am.
and I'm like a month. He's
I
like,
am.
You know what?
Get it right. Less.
You know, if there's anything Steve's known
Be
for
literal.
being,
All right? I guess it's not Adam Y. Literal.
I guess it's not. So
What do they call you, Adam Weil?
they just round the E.
They hold on to the D.
They're
Yeah.
round the
Hold on to that. That's for safekeeping.
This is I mean, this is going to be a very fast month. Very, very fast. And there's a lot happening. And what I want to say is I completely forgot that Austin Matthews had a wrist injury and had surgery on it.
Yeah, same.
And he was on Tim and Friends yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, and he's like, yeah, it'll be ready for the first game of the season. I was like, I completely forgot James tweeted that.
You know what I liked?
James Myrtle did it. Hi, James.
You know what I liked? How he had an operation done on his wrist, right? And no one called the team a bunch of stupid shitheads for getting his wrist worked on when they did. Sorry, I'm thinking of Sidney Crosby, not Austin Matthews. Did you remember all that?
What happened with that?
So Matthews, he goes and gets his wrist worked on, and everyone goes, "What? Didn't they know the exact... Why did they negligently let him go into the summer with his bum wrist, and then he injures it, and now he might miss some games?" And then
That might have been the part of the summer where I was actually on vacation. I might have missed that.
Also,
Thank
this
God.
is the first time I think you've peaked the audio in the studio.
Oh, sorry.
And these microphones are hard to peak, man.
Yeah,
Well done.
it was-
Really? Okay. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why we got them. Is that they're hard to. If you
Sorry.
yell, they're supposed to be able to limit that.
I'm sorry.
That's
I know
okay.
about
That's
that.
great.
The loud one.
My bad.
You see?
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, you might have to edit that. I'm sorry. No, but no, the Matthews, so I guess I haven't had time to rant about this. No, but the Leafs took so much grief for Matthews getting hurt. Like they thought they could rehab it. He injured it in training, and they're like, actually, you know what? Let's get the surgery done. And so they get it done, and he will hopefully be back in time for game 1. A month later, Sidney Crosby, same thing happens. He's going to miss games, I'm pretty sure. No one says a thing about the Penguins. And to be clear, Penguins fans, I'm not saying Ron Hextall is a big dumb idiot for Sidney Crosby getting a surgery when he did. I'm saying not all health situations end up the same.
Well, it was interesting because I've started seeing I've had physio, chiropractor, whatever for my back. So I'm doing everything I can to keep my back because basically what they've told me with my back is I've got muscles that are used to being super tight all the time,
Just really
tight, and then you have to retrain your body to have them untight all the time. You have to. It's like a memory thing, muscle memory, right?
That's what I've been doing for the
So
last year.
one of the and you
Both
should have
of
been
you,
doing that
yeah.
for the last 15 years. Both of us actually. Let's be honest. I give you a hard time, but not much better. Now, what I'll say is that what's been interesting is they're like, listen, we need to calm your nervous system down. We need to calm the neck down. We need to calm the back down. We need to calm the nervous system.
Who
down.
told you that?
That would be my Cairo.
Tell them I said that's great advice.
Yeah, I know. Well, and by the way, my Cairo is not one of the Cairos that's like, I'm going to crack your back. She's actually like, stretching this and moving that and whatever. And so I trust her because I feel like sometimes the Cairos that like are there to crack your back, it's like, in 15 minutes, I'm going to make a bunch of noises and you're going to leave and you're going to have to come back next week. So what Matthew said that I thought was interesting as this pertains to my dumb story is that the, his wrist injury, he said, we were trying to get it to calm down first. Matthew said that about his injury. He said, we're trying to get it to calm down as in, I feel like they wanted to see what his threshold was going to be, right? Like what is it after the season ends and he's not wearing and tearing on it all the time, right? What's the pain threshold if he lives a normal life?
Right. If he's not a hockey player
right.
for a while.
And then you judge that against being a hockey player for a while and see where you're at. Because if he didn't get it now, he would have to get it in July of next season or next year.
Yeah, or just play with a shitty wrist all year.
Right, and still score 50 goals because that's what he did last year. It's insane.
I don't know.
It seems like the pain was just too much.
Yeah.
And it made more sense to just forget it. But it just blows my flipping mind that a guy who needed surgery on his wrist outscored everybody else by 10 goals.
It's stupid. It's stupid. He scored at a 60-goal pace. Like
that's huge.
That's been done by Stamkos and Ovechkin, and I don't remember.
Brett Hall
did
it once, and Lemieux and Gretzky, but
since the millennium flipped.
Oh God! Stamkos and I don't know.
Stamkos, Ovechkin. Pretty sure that's it. Bure might have.
Yeah, he might have been at that pace, but if Bure could ever stay healthy, that was the problem, right? Remember we went to the Panthers and tore it up for like 11 games, and then he was out for the season? He was unbelievable.
He was unreal.
But injuries, man.
We were robbed of him, robbed of Forsberg.
Oh, no kidding.
The story that accompanied Matthew's wrist injury was that Marner didn't get to go down to Arizona and train with him. So because Marner's original plans were to go to Arizona, and Matthews and Marner were going to spend the summer, and they're going to do their little training during July and August.
That would have been fun.
He had to train at the BioSteel in Montreal instead. So that also came out with that story. But that just reminded me of how long they kept those two apart. How long did it take for Matthews and Marner to play on the same line?
3.5 years?
Yeah.
How ridiculous
Basically,
is that?
It was Babs.
Right.
And there are people now making the argument that you shouldn't play them together.
I would make the argument you should switch it up. Sometimes, man. Even Pasternak comes off the perfection line sometimes.
Yeah, but only when it's struggling. I think we've seen, especially with Boston and with Tampa, that just load up the line, and they refuse to do that for 3 years. These two clearly love playing together.
Yeah.
And why? Well, you should encourage that. If you have two hockey players who are willing to go out of their way for the summer to fly to a destination and play hockey together for a month, why not encourage this? And why have you been taking away from that for the first 3 years of their career?
Why not? That was I don't know. That was just a Babs sticking point thing.
That's ridiculous. It makes me upset.
And like that Nylander, Hyman, Matthews line in the first year, it worked. It worked. But never try it once. Mm-hmm. It was there was the one game, I don't remember if this was the rookie year or the next year, where the Leafs were running up the score on Montreal. And so they ran out a Matthews, Marner, Martin line. They put Matt Martin out there with them, just to say, all right, no bullshit. Here, at the end of the game, I know we ran up the score on you, no bullshit.
All right.
What game was that?
It was early in the regular season one year. I don't remember if it was 16-17 or 17-18.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
And then I think they scored again, too. I'm pretty sure.
So you guys are on the side that they should break them up more instead of encouraging them to play?
On the power play.
Yes.
I like what you think they should break them up on the power play, or you should keep them together?
Sometimes. It should. No, yeah, they break them up on the power play. It should be an option.
Well,
I think you should do anything besides what you're doing at the power play because it didn't work.
Yeah. Clearly. I'm curious about that. Like, they have some, and it's been just enough time. I was talking about this with my girlfriend, who is a huge hockey fan, and she's like, I'm not mad at them anymore.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not mad at them anymore. And I said, okay, Fair. And I said, I'm not either. Enough time has elapsed. It's usually to give me, it was a big blow up, right? This was a big fight. But like, there's still love there. Still mad love. And I'm not talking about one particular player. I'm talking about the Leafs, right? Mm-hmm. I'm Steve, you said it before the show. They have lost 5 consecutive all or nothing games. Right? Uh-huh. So it is tough. But at the same time, if they sort things like the power play out, think about how much easier life gets.
It's actually 6. I didn't include 2013.
Oh God. Well, consecutive. It wouldn't be consecutive, but
yeah.
I think at the end of the day, if they solve something like the power play, and I don't know what they need to do. I'm not smart enough to know that. I'm sure Dom and Jay Fresh and all the people on Twitter can tell you what they need to do to make that happen. There's probably a heat map out there that explains everything.
Jack Hahn.
Yeah, Jack Hahn could do that. Yeah, whatever. All those guys, they can figure it out. What I am saying is, how much easier does life get if the Toronto Maple Leafs, with $40 million on one power play, $45 million if you include Morgan Riley, something like that, if they can figure out, with half their payroll on the same line, how to score a goal in the power play. And how to score it, and because here's the thing, there's no excuse. If you're watching Formula One like me, there's no excuse for Mercedes-Benz and Red Bull not to be 1 and 2. There's no excuse. They have the best cars on the track. With the Leafs, I don't need them to be top 10. I need them to be top 3.
Oh, I'll be amazed if the same thing happens again that has happened many times recently. Their power play starts bananas hot, ridiculously hot, and then dies.
So are you telling me that we're not getting... So if it does start hot, we're not going to be allowed to enjoy it, are we?
No.
Oh.
No. I don't know. No, listen. You enjoy the Leafs scoring and winning whenever.
Yes, and you should.
And all your doubts and concerns, you store them in a box at the back of your head, right? And you keep them in a file for later, right? And you just remember. That's all. You enjoy it. But I am saying this now in September. If they start hot, they did last year too. Remember? Oh, they have Wayne Simmons on the first power play and Joe Thornton and Tavares and Nylander on the second. This is stupid. And they were bananas hot. And then what?
They finished 16th in the league in power play percentage.
That's unacceptable.
You can't have that.
We both went to the same word immediately. That's unacceptable.
And I think they know that. I would like to, there's one thing about like when you make a mistake or when you don't perform to that thing, you own it, which is great. I'm not sure that anybody's owned it when it comes as specific as the power play. And I read some of the interviews yesterday with Marner, who obviously, like, let's be frank, had a tough summer. I mean, the fact he was trending every day is a joke, and we need to really I think there's no. We were hard on him in the show.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
When the games happen.
But like when it's August 22nd and somebody signs a minor league deal, and they're like, "Well, I wonder what Marner would make on that." Like, you know what I mean? It was enough.
It also takes like 5 tweets to trend.
Does it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I've noticed that about Twitter. Alex Galchenyuk trended today. I was like, oh, did he sign? No.
I'm just gonna see who's trending.
There's like a couple people who were tweeting about him.
Galch is trending today, and so is Babcock.
What? Is Babcock?
Oh, but Steve Simmons had a weird tweet.
The trending topic page
it's a Steve Simmons tweet. That's
has
the reason.
become more tailored towards your interests too. There's a lot of hockey fans on Twitter, so a lot of people interested in hockey, so they push those things up towards.
See, I think
the trending list.
That's a bad idea when it comes to sports fandom, because if you're like disappointed in a player's performance, it just reminds you again and again and again that or your team disappointed you. And here's the thing, right? Like, these are people, they're human beings, and as much as I was as upset as you can get with the top line's performance after Tavares went down in the Montreal series after about Game 4, right?
After Game 4, they were great up until,
and then invisible. It's not cool that Matthews only scored a goal.
Nope.
And it's not cool that Marner didn't score and there was not a lot of assists.
No.
But it doesn't mean that we need to, and I've said this before, we don't need to torch them online every day about their contract. Like, relax. We would all die to make that kind of money. Are you kidding me?
We would all die to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes! You would have to pay me.
One
game. Give me one shift.
Can I volunteer?
Yeah, I don't even care if it's against the Islanders and Casey Zizekas beats my face in. Fine. I'll be cool with that. I got my face beat in by Casey Zizekas and my name is on the back of that jersey and there's blood on the front. I'm happy. That's it.
Oh, just to have that photo.
Yeah, right? Just
To hang in the
Just
of me
mangled
in
it.
a heap.
yeah, and then I'll have that broken nose bridge that everybody gets.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
like that little bump.
It goes this way.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Steve, you're allowed on TV now. You got the. You got the. It's okay.
Well,
listen,
we'll actually
to be-
use you on
To
trade
be an
deadline
analyst,
day.
you must have played at a professional level. No one else can analyze.
That's always great trade deadline when I look around at the 12 NHLers and I'm like, I don't think I'm getting on.
And guess what? You're not.
You're right.
As much as I love you, my friend. One thing, so I was impressed with Matthews' interview. He was great. I was impressed with Marner's interview with Chris Johnson of the Toronto Star, by the way. Congratulations to CJ. Did we congratulate him last episode?
Yeah, remember you saw the tweet
Oh.
come out 4 minutes live on the show.
Right.
4 minutes after it came out, you saw it. We announced it on the show.
So congrats to CJ on that, by the way. And for people asking, yes, of course he'll be able to come back on the show, and he will be coming on very, very soon. He remains D'Artagnan. He's the fourth member of the show. He will always be here. But what Chris's article in the Star said was, Mitch said, listen, I grew up here. I know what it's like to play here. I know what it's like. Like, I know what this is. I knew what I was getting into. So
What do you think Mitch said in 2013 when they blew it against Boston? Oh, don't worry, they'll get them next time. He was probably like, Gardner sucks.
I
Oh
hate
my
Fano.
God.
Yeah.
And then like
Pylon.
their teammates 3-4 years later,
Yeah. Yeah.
or no, he got drafted 2015. Marner did.
Oh, it wasn't that long.
No.
Oh, man.
What is funny is there are a number of players who have broken into the NHL, like young NHL players, who have tweets from that day.
No way.
Yeah, like Nick Suzuki has one, I'm pretty sure. I want to say Dylan Strome might have even gone down to Maple Leaf Square and like had his jersey on and everything.
That's really cool.
We were there.
we
were there. Not together, but we were there. Today's episode is sponsored by the NBA and their quest to advance the game of basketball, grow the community, bring communities together, and impact culture. The league celebrates its teams, players, and fans from across the past, present, and future as a part of the 75th anniversary season that they're celebrating this year. That's Game highlights pivotal moments on court and beyond, from iconic plays in arenas to the impact players have had in the community. That's the NBA. That's Game. I know, for instance, in our community, the Raptors are in the schools. They're everywhere all the time, building basketball arenas, doing incredible community outreach programs, and that's what the wider NBA is all about. So it's more than just basketball. You know that, I know that, and it's what connects us all, and it keeps us coming back for more. That's the NBA. That's Game. Check it out. All right, here it is. It's your favorite commercial of the SDP. Favorite one. What do you think it is? Yeah, that's right. It's Manscaped. And listen, we need to talk about the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped. It's not only taken off in the USA, but in Canada, here, of course, the UK, and across Europe, Australia, South Africa, Singapore. We're talking in every country, people are discovering what it's like to be so fresh and so clean and so aerodynamic. And that's what Manscaped wants. First off, let's talk about the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim that area of your body, even your anus. Sorry, it's here. The fourth generation trimmer also features cutting edge ceramic blade technology. We're talking no accidents. You know what I mean? And there's so much more that comes in this package. But what I love about it is the fact that it actually has an LED light, so you could see what's happening. Do you know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. We want to give you 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. Just use the code DANGLE, DANGLE. That's 20% off for a very clean, out-of-this-world feeling. I know that me reading this and talking to you about that area of your body might make you uncomfortable, but the whole point is we don't want you to be uncomfortable down there. So you should get 20% off at manscaped.com with the promo code DANGLE, DANGLE. Just go there, manscaped.com, promo code DANGLE, and you will have a fresh and clean and aerodynamic and just out of this world body experience, okay? Manscaped.com, use the promo code DANGLE, get 20% off, get free shipping. Go. And by the way, we'll be back with another one of these next episode. One thing I was decidedly unimpressed with, and this is my first what the hell are you thinking of the season? Ilya Mikheyev requesting a trade.
Oh, I get it.
What? No, I don't.
And them saying no.
Yeah. So
I get
here's,
that.
Here's what tell me where I'm wrong here, okay? Because this is my impression of it, and I'm fully open to being wrong here. But this guy comes in, they take a chance on him, and bring him over from Russia, as we've seen with Igor Ozhiganov and Alex Barabanov. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Worked in San Jose.
But Mikheyev was great right off the bat, like straight up the first 20 games or whatever he was playing.
And he heated up too.
And it was in the end of Babcock era where everything sucked.
It was when he was his hottest, it was with Keefe. And I remember saying this when this oh God. This is what I said heading into the bubble. Because remember how badly the Leafs struggled up until the bubble.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? The Leafs with Mikheyev in the lineup under Keefe were like 12-4 or something like that. Or like they were really good and he was really good. And then they play that warm-up game against Montreal, and a minute in, him and Tavares click for a goal. And I'm like, here we go. Ilya Mikheyev, the straw that stirs the drink, apparently. And he's going to be playing up in the top 6. This is going to be great. And then he was quiet those playoffs, and he's never really gotten it back.
Well, and of course, he had the wrist injury. And that was a brutal injury.
And it's not like, Matthews, you injured it, you go out and you get surgery. You got his wrist slashed with a skate.
Right. And made it back that year, which was a miracle, as you mentioned. But I want to say, this is the thing. So the Leafs take a chance on him once.
Yep.
And then,
and we're good to him.
Remember, Dubas was at the hospital that
4
night.
days.
Yep.
For 4 days.
For 4 days.
Dubas did really good by him.
And then last year he shows up. Oh, sorry, the bubble wasn't great for anybody. So we'll erase the bubble. Like no one.
That's fair.
You know what? Like okay, the Columbus series, the team shouldn't get a pass. They should have won the series. But I'll say, you know what? It was COVID. Nobody was at their best. I can tell you, I was a psychological disaster at that point. So fair enough, right?
Same.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But this past season, when again COVID, but still, we gotta at some point we gotta move on here. We gotta push forward. Mm-hmm. He was ineffective.
Offensively, for sure.
Yeah, he was fine defensively.
Yeah.
And it's not as though he didn't get a chance. Every night he was playing 13, 14 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the season, admittedly a tough season, after, frankly, and I know that these are teams and I know that they're big corporations, but they did all this for you and signed you to a deal that, frankly, you're not worth. He's not worth the deal that they're paying.
Not now.
He didn't earn... Did he earn the $1.5 million or whatever he makes?
Mm-hmm. I thought he did.
Last year.
I think you're last year? No. No. I'm talking about when he signed it.
Sure. But then, this is the thing.
Oh, you're talking about
live up to
by
the
the
deal.
end of
Did
the
he
season
live up to
when
the
he
deal?
asked for it. No,
Right.
you're right.
So you haven't lived up to the deal that you signed. The team has been behind you all the way.
I could have you or I could have Jack Campbell for the same money.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I read the piece from
please
Friedman?
do. Please do.
So it's he wrote in a story about Jack Eichel. He snuck this in at the end. It says, according to several sources, Toronto winger Ilya Mikheyev asked for a trade following the 2021 season. But what is important to the story is that the Maple Leafs made it clear they do not want to accommodate this request. With Zach Hyman and Joe Thornton gone from the left wing, the organization told Mikheyev it considers him a key part of their team and are counting on him to have a big year. His 14-13 per game last season was 8th among Toronto forwards. The issue appears to be ice time, heading into the final year of his contract.
How do I look up ice time?
All right. The Leafs signed Nick Ritchie, so they're going to take more penalties, and there's your ice time.
So his average...
There's your ice time, bud.
Average time on ice in 2020 is 14-13. Postseason, 13-22. For a third-line winger.
Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't see himself as a third-line winger.
Well, but he has to play above that.
I think the frustrating thing, about being a third-line winger on the Leafs is you're one position away from being a second-line winger on the Leafs.
And that's a good spot. Yeah.
And then you're playing, especially in a contract year, right? He's trying to get paid this year.
Fair.
So you get to play on a line with either Matthews or Tavares. And if I'm looking, I look at last year, and I'd be
Hyman
curious.
and Kerfoot kept them out?
I'd be very curious to know, and Thornton. I'd be very curious to know if he made the request before they went out and got Bunting and Ritchie. I'd be curious to know that.
Timing is interesting. The other thing I would say is you're not just going to be given that. Like Joe Thornton.
No.
Joe Thornton came in and actually played pretty well with Matthews and Marner. And I could say that. That's at the beginning of the season. I could say that if I'm Mikheyev and I'm looking at Joe Thornton where he's at, I'm like, are you guys serious? You're going to play him there?
Over me?
Right. And I from a competitive standpoint, nothing against Thornton, but from a competitive standpoint, I would understand that. His skill set's frankly better right now. But at the end of the day, you have to earn that. You haven't earned that. What are his stats? Like
I think here's the conversation you have with him. Kyle, I want to trade. Well, Ilya, you scored 7 goals last year, and one of them was with your arm. Mm-hmm. So I looked it up. Okay, put it this way.
He had 17 points in 54 games.
There's a video on YouTube.
And 0 points in the playoffs both years.
There you go.
Zero.
There's a video on YouTube of all of Mikheyev's goals from last year, and it's a minute and I think 13 seconds. Right? So that should tell you everything you need to know. He's at the bottom of his value. If he wants to simply stay home, if he thinks he can go get more money in the KHL or something, he can do that. But players, I think, ask for trades all the time. And the Leafs do not have to accommodate that at all.
I just think, honestly, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Because my point here is that this is a team that really, they're sticking with you. 23 and 17 points. Those are his totals. Now, the first year, 23 and 39. It's not bad. But then devastating wrist injury, and you come back, and you had time to heal the wrist. And that's the performance you put out. I'm sorry, but you can't blame the Leafs. You're getting 14 minutes a night, pal.
And if you actually look at the goals he scored, which we can't show you on this channel, he scored 7 and at least 3 of them are flukes. And like he had the 2 best chances to end the Montreal series in Game 6, and he just couldn't bear it. He's going to shoot higher than 6.5% next year.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's got to believe...
he's in like the 8% or something like that, right?
He's got to believe that, and the Leafs got to believe that. And he needs to be more of a 200-foot player. And usually when you say that, it means play defense, dummy. But with him, it's...
Play offense, dummy.
Yeah, play offense, dummy. It's the exact opposite. What individual player's situation do you think... Mikheyev, and specifically his agent, Dan Milstein, what player situation do you think they look at enviously?
That's a really good question. I wouldn't know.
I have an answer.
Go ahead.
Alex Barabanov. Barabanov was on the Leafs.
And he went to San Jose.
Lit it up, and got $1 million. Now, that's less than what Mikheyev has now, but Barabanov was good for it was 2 weeks. Right? And if I'm Mikheyev and if I'm his agent, I look at that and I go, I'm not the problem. This team is the problem. My role on this team is the problem. They're not using me right. He went to San Jose. They used him right, and he got his payday. And he's going to do better there next year, and he's going to get a bigger payday, which is what I should be getting because my contract is about to expire. I think this is just a business thing. I think his teammates like him. I think the team likes him. I think he likes the team. I think he likes it here. I
don't think that I don't think I was bringing any of that up. I just think it's a shitty way for a team that stuck with him. And really, Barabanov had played 9 games in San Jose. Are they effing crazy giving him $1 million?
What did he get?
7 points.
Man,
dude, that's like
I know.
It's the Ryan Dzingel effect. Like, somebody has to score. Nobody in San Jose scores goals. That team sucks.
I'm trying to think of guys who had ridiculously hot weeks.
And I get it. It's about money. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who's like, go get your money. Like with Taylor Hall, we had that whole debate. But Ilya, you got money. You got $1.6 million. $1.645 is the exact number. Give me a break with this.
The reason it's 645, by the way, is when he signed it. Remember, it was supposed to be more, and Dubas called him at the last minute and goes, "I need you to take a few grand less." Remember that?
Oh, I don't
in order
know.
to fit him under the cap.
Okay.
And Mikheyev said, "Yep, don't worry, that's fine. Go for it." He did Dubas a solid.
Okay. Well,
and now he's like, "And I'm playing 13 minutes."
We all saw him play. He doesn't.
I'm trying to see this from his perspective.
And I get that. And then, you know what? I would love to see him work out with Tavares and Nylander next year because, wow, that would be, first off, a scary offensive line.
It's a great line.
And then defensively, that's a very responsible line. I love that.
Sure.
But does he think he's going to get that opportunity, though? Does he, like, maybe there's been conversations in the room with Keefe that he's not going to get that chance because they brought in these other wingers who are going to be slotted higher in the lineup than him, and he sees an outlook, and he's like, I'm not going to get a chance to play here, I want to score some goals.
I think it's tryouts. Like, the Leafs don't have a number one left winger. They don't. No matter who they put in the number one slot, they don't. Like, do you think Nick Ritchie's the number one?
So
Michael Bunting? Ilya Mikheyev?
Kasha is a right winger by trade. Mikheyev shoots left. Bunting is a left winger.
Mikheyev does play right.
He does. Nylander can switch, but you don't want him switching. Simmons can play, but you'd think he's a third liner.
Maybe.
Or fourth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is it Kampf? Is it, like in a Kampf, you want him to play center. So, yeah. I mean, this is, and if Mikheyev can't see the opportunity, I mean, I think it's got to be. I know people are really
there.
Yeah, well, he's got to take it though. This is my point from the beginning. Yeah. If you don't like that Joe Thornton is playing with Matthews and Marner and you think you're better, and you probably objectively are, go take it from him. This is the NHL.
Yeah.
This is it's a complete meritocracy. Go and score and win. Go make yourself useful. I'm not saying he's not useful, and I'm a Mikheyev fan. I love Ilya Mikheyev. That's why I was so disappointed about this. It's just like, really?
You're asking Kyle Dubas to do something genuinely dumb. A player with a contract that's too rich for his production at the bottom of his value.
In a year where he seems like he's going to be trying his hardest to get a next deal. Why would you trade a player in a contract year at the beginning of it? Right.
When you think you're good? Because Dubas obviously thinks this team is good. That's why he's stuck with it. Right.
I'm trying to understand why he doesn't see an opportunity with the Leafs. If you're looking for a big payday, you should be looking to play in the biggest market on a team with a lot of scoring.
And not a lot of depth, and you're the depth piece they need.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity right in your slot where your position's kind of empty there on the Leafs. It's up for grabs, but Mikheyev looks at it and Milstein looks at it, and they're like, oh, the opportunity's not there.
Where do you think you're going to score more?
Right, but they clearly think that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand that logic, and I don't really see it.
Well, maybe
it could be a behind the scenes
depending on
thing.
the timing. Maybe first off, maybe he and Keefe are not gelling, but I guess he was his best under Keefe. Maybe depending on the timing too. Maybe it was he asked for a trade after Ritchie, Bunting, Kasha, and thought, well, maybe I'm not gonna have a shot here. They signed all these guys, and really the Leafs are just filling out their lineup. I agree, Jesse. Like, I don't know if he made the request day one after Game 7 against Montreal. He had to look at the contracts that were expiring and going, there's no way they're going to make a big move here. There's no possible way they could make a big move and bring in a big winger here. This is his chance. And I just and then afterwards, which to me seems more likely because they signed all these wingers. Dude, you're the highest paid among them. You're the one who's been here. You know the system.
Ritchie,
you know the players. Okay, Ritchie's a little higher. You know the system, you know the players, and you probably have the best shot.
I think he's wrong. I think he's wrong. Now, what I did, and this is interesting because we're talking about the opportunity. I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite here because what I did with remember I did that video where I tried to make the Leafs roster for next year out of the players they already had?
Yes.
And this was before free agency.
And you put Mikheyev in the traded category.
No,
I traded him.
Rather than, because he was their best winger remaining. And I put him at their best left winger.
Pre-signings, right?
Pre-signings. So I put him number one left wing. And then I went, nope, that's ridiculous because he's not a top 6 forward. So I put him at number 3 because he's great there. And so who I had in the top 6, I think in my video it was Nick Robertson and Nick Patan.
Oh, right. Nick Robertson's coming in too.
Yes. I wonder if he's looking at that.
Interesting.
Dude, it's hard to play in the NHL. You want to go to Buffalo, put up a fuckload of points and lose every game?
Well, that's the other thing, right?
Who's going to pass you the puck?
Right. The Leafs could trade him to Arizona.
Play in a line with Tavares, crash the net, and score by accident. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, you could lead the league in goals off your ass, really.
Yes.
Like, literally just have Nylander shoot the puck, and make sure that you're standing about 6 feet high in the air with your bum, and then deflect it downwards. You're good. I'm kidding. It's a joke about Nylander shooting it over the net. Which every time I say that on Twitter,
that one.
Every time I say that on Twitter, people are like, objectively, you are wrong. And I'm like, I know. But in big situations, he fires it over the net. And you know that.
You like that one? And who do you always say takes slap shots from the point?
Barry.
It was Barry. Yeah.
He does.
He does.
He does.
Oh, it's going to Barry.
Yeah,
slap
we're
shot.
going to slap it off someone's knee. All right, cool. That's great. Thanks, Tyson.
No,
and by the way, Tyson seems like a great guy. There's nothing personally, but I think they were a mess.
My one beef with Nylander's shot is when he does miss high, especially on the right side. It
skirts all the way around and
perfectly whoop, like a Beyblade, like just
down
right
the
around.
ice.
And
it's like a frisbee. You know when a frisbee loses air and it just all of a sudden sinks hard?
Yeah,
like a curveball. Like that's what it looks like.
I wonder if Riley sees him wind up and goes, "He better hit the net." He didn't because the left D's got to fly now.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if there's a metric for the amount of mistakes Morgan Riley has to make up for on that blue line in the power play, but he's pretty good about it. Like the one thing, people have their criticism about Morgan Riley. I love him, but I think one of the things that he does best is just keep the puck in. Yeah. Just keep it not offside. It's amazing.
I think he's very good at that.
So, listen, we'll drop Mikheyev. I want him to succeed.
Me too.
I want Marner to succeed. I want Matthews to succeed. I want the whole team to win a fucking cup.
What part of what hurt me there is I was like, can we have one fan favorite? Like, can we?
I know
we're losing them all, and like
well,
even
that'll
Soup.
Change.
Soup
give it 5 games.
No, I know.
Give it 5 real games, and everybody's back on the wagon again.
And there are still fan favorites, obviously. Tavares is blameless and Nylander and all that. But like losing Hyman and that made me so sad. And now I'm not even allowed to like Soup.
So, okay, the thing with Tavares is that, and this is one I don't get. Why are people saying he's not worth his deal?
Because his game isn't Austin Matthews' game where he puts up 60 goals.
Okay.
Like it's when you watch Tavares, it's more subtle, but what he does on the ice is so important, and it's worth every single penny of his deal. But most people who are looking at that are just like, oh man, Tavares went 3 games without a goal. He's not worth it. But his game is much more important than just goal scoring.
Habs fans aren't going to want to hear this, but there's no chance they lose that series with Tavares.
No way. Chance. So here's the thing. Tavares is a career under point a game player. And he was when the Leafs got him.
Yep.
He in 870 games in his total career, he has 819 points, okay?
Yep.
First year with the Leafs, 47 goals, 41 assists, 88 points in 82 games. The next year, which is I believe, COVID, 63 games, 26 goals, 34 assists, 60 points.
And he got shit for that because his goal scoring pace was down.
Yeah.
But his points were fine.
He scored at a 35 goal pace or something like that.
Yeah. And last yeyear he was shit hot heading into the playoffs.
And he had almost 20 goals in 56 games. So he could have scored 30 over 80. 31 assists.
Everyone looks like a bum with Matthews, man.
And then 50 points. Are you guys crazy?
I know, man.
Listen, I understand that you're like, well, there's other people making a lot less, but he was signed as an unrestricted free agent, and his other offer was $13 million. We got him at 11.
Yeah, we don't have to spend any time on
All
this.
I'm saying
Tavares
is if anybody tells you John Tavares is not worth the money, has not been worth the money so far, objectively, they're wrong. Yes. And you could probably stop listening to them. You don't need to waste your time. Just saying. Or maybe don't stop listening, but you can laugh.
Adam's giving you the barrel treatment.
Yeah, that's a very bad Leafs are Reddit.
Yeah,
take, you go on Leafs Reddit and someone's like, "Oh, Tavares isn't worth the deal," and you're like, "Fucking scroll past that."
30 years old and still standing in front of the net, taking his hacks, and there is nobody who plays a more Toronto game than John Tavares. Defensive, hardworking, not even the best skater, but he's always in the play. Like, is John Tavares ever out of position? Is he ever not defensively He's pretty good.
When he does make a mistake, it's so noticeable because you're like, Jonathan.
Right. And when he does make a mistake, the whole line falls to shit because he's carrying them.
Well, you'll see him make a mistake and then you won't see him do that again for at least a month because he
goes home, he has his kale salad and he stews about it.
John, you didn't even finish your shake. I'm still thinking about it.
John, you won 5-1. Yeah, but I made a mistake. And that led to that goal.
Could have been 5-0.
He lives in the Junction.
Does he?
Yeah, there's an article. I think it was The Athletic or Sportsnet who did a little piece on his like home life.
Oh,
and he has a nice little home in the Junction. He's very cute. He walks around the neighborhood.
Should we go visit him?
We should.
Should we give out his address like Kanye did to Drake?
I was just about to say. Kanye goes, here's where Drake lives. And Toronto went, we know.
We know.
It's on the map.
We've driven by.
It's a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a guy in a little Nissan Micra security card outside, like all the time.
there's an OVO security member who tells you to keep it moving.
Yeah.
My wife and I have been like, you want to go on the bridle path? And we're like, sure. And we just go off. Wonder how much that house is. And then we leave.
They're all $20 million.
Yeah.
That's the baseline price for the bridal path.
I'm amazed that's it.
You can buy Prince's old house right now for $14 million.
Didn't Elton John live there?
Oh, I'm sure he did with David Furnish, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the taxes are so high, it's not even worth it for the super rich. They're like, it's just ostentatious wealth at this point. The people who are rich, like Elton John is rich, are like, that's way too much money.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I have $1 billion in the bank, and even I wouldn't spend that. I'm going to take I'll buy the top of a building. I'll buy the entire floor before I'll buy on the bridal path.
I have $1 billion, but I just kind of like playing the piano in my pajamas. What do I do with all this?
Why do I need an acre of land in Toronto? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a good point. Like, I'm not going to use this.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway,
All right, guys.
Give it to Drake.
so here's can I tell you what I love about hockey?
What?
What do we love about hockey? Tell me some things you love about hockey. The actual sport, not the culture.
I like the whoosh. I like feeling the whoosh when you skate.
Steve, tell me seriously. What do you love about hockey?
I like the intensity and speed of it all.
Okay, Jesse, what do you like?
The passion.
And what do they always say? What does Brian Burke always say about NHL athletes?
Why don't you lazy bastards get back to work?
Well, that too, which
Sorry,
is great.
remember that
I love
from
that montage. What's Brian Burke always say about hockey players? He even said it in the deposition with the concussions.
Was it they're stubborn?
No, it was that they are the toughest athletes on planet Earth.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, that's a given.
Right. They're tough.
I'm Brian Burke.
Right.
I'll work on it.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to say, I'm Brian Burke, doing Brian Burke to Brian Burke.
All right, go look at the
Okay, I'm Brian Burke. They're very tough.
Jesse, can you isolate this and send it to the
No!
Penguins Twitter?
You want me to send it to
Send it
Brian?
to the Penguins Twitter
No, I'm
account.
sending it to Brian.
To Brian. Just
Yeah.
email it to
Oh,
President,
yeah, that's a thing we can do.
Mr.
At
President at
Penguins.
penguins.com.
Well, let's do some more. I'm Nick Caprizov.
Kipper's going to kill you. You know that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I love
You
Kipper.
might get punched in the face.
Well, I mean, he already got choked out, right? So it was a...
Yeah.
Man, when Kipper grabbed my collar for that photo of me and him, I was just like, oh dear, oh heavens.
You realize it's a different kind of strength. So did I tell you? I probably have told you, and you've probably seen it, but years ago when I was on breakfast television, we were skating on the fake ice, and they brought it all into the studio. So I'm the only one on the cast at BT who can skate. So me and Ferragini. And Frankie is upstairs doing his weather. So I had to strap on the skates and do the segment with Nick. And it was about the launch with Sportsnet and NHL and all that. And Nick, just at the end of the segment, skates towards me. And I can't imagine what it was like to play against him. Because I've never forgotten the look on his face. Do you remember the David Clarkson eyes? Like, give the camera the David Clarkson eyes. Like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's that. And Nick got that for just a split second.
Oh, yeah.
Grabbed me and jerseyed me on TV. And my belly is just hanging out
That's
everywhere.
real funny.
And I felt I was down so fast I didn't even know what hit me. And everybody's laughing. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm gonna die. And I just want you to know that because of that impression, that's what could hit you.
There are guys like you can see the intensity in their eyes.
Yeah.
Like, so I've worked with Jason York, Christopher Stieg, Anthony Stewart, Colby Armstrong. They're all guys who they can be very intense.
Right.
They don't have that look though. Bob McGill to work with at Leafs TV.
Big Daddy.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
He could be giving you directions to the Tims.
He's
terrifying.
Among the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, but terrifying.
Yes.
The one thing I noticed about NHL players 2 years ago when you had the leading fundraiser for the Eric Lindros Easter Seals.
Yeah.
You raised the most money, so we got Eric Lindros on our team.
Yeah.
Eric Lindros's hands, they're like he's wearing giant mittens.
He's wearing Hulk hands.
Professional NHL players have these thick hands where it's not just because my hands are so skinny and thin. They have these just giant fingers and there's so much padding around their hands. It was unbelievable just to see him hold the stick in real life.
If they want to take the puck, they're taking it.
Right.
Like Adam Graves when he slashed me in the Easter Seals tournament. I was like, oh, that was super fun. I honestly, had it been any other person, I would have fallen over and just taken a minute because it was painful.
Yeah, well, you had pads on.
Yeah.
When I played, it was I did road hockey to conquer cancer one year, and I think it was Lou Franceschetti. He shot it, and I flamingoed to block it. And he slashed me right in the leg, and he goes, "You block it like a man!"
Oh my god!
And I was just like, "Okay, Lou, that's cool." Slash me right in the leg, you block it like a man. Stand in front of it. Face it.
So, all of that said, tough, big, manly.
Yes.
Why are they so afraid of a needle?
Oh dear, this is not where I thought this was going at all.
Sylvain Lefebvre.
Well, he's a coach. Maybe if he was still playing together.
Is he the Lefebvre that played for the Leafs?
I believe he is.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be two.
There was two
Could be
Lefebvres.
three.
There was two Lefebvres. Sylvain Lefebvre, who was the coach of Columbus's minor league affiliate.
I thought he was the assistant.
Was he
No,
assistant coach?
assistant.
Oh, he's assistant
The
coach.
minor league coach is the one that got promoted.
Oh, that's
to
right.
his
Okay,
position.
I got that confused. Sorry, my bad. So, Lefebvre says that he quit because the Blue Jackets said you're getting a vaccine. Because the NHL policy is pretty flipping clear. If you are support staff, like if you're non-player, you're getting a vaccine or you're not going to be there.
It's out of Jarmo Kekalainen's hands.
Right.
It's a rule.
Out of his big
league-wide rule.
Finnish hands.
Oh yeah.
I bet. Yeah. Yarmo maybe didn't play professionally, but he's pretty scary too. I love Lefebvre. Sorry, I love Jarmo Kekalainen because he's such a badass. I feel like he's like Billy Beane. He's like what Billy Beane is, right? He's just small market team, but I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna win here.
And Lefebvre said originally he quit. Jarmo said no. He was fired. And I just find it funny that these guys, tough guys, they played in a different era. And that's Lefebvre's era, right? Late 80s, early 90s. Different era. Things were different. Clutch, grab, punch in the face when you weren't expecting it. Real respect. And he's like, you know what, guys? I know little, but I know that this vaccine is going to, my keys could stick to my head.
Dude, everyone...
Are you kidding me?
Everyone hears their own story. Did you see the Nicki Minaj tweet yesterday?
Yeah.
Let's
by the
not
way...
Go to Nicki Minaj for vaccine
listen. Nicki Minaj is extremely talented. She's also... Her judgment is subject to question, I think, at this point, and many times before this.
I was reading it and just like, how is this not a drill tweet?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and it's and also no one believes you. That's not a real story. Oh, my friend's cousin's friend.
No, but...
are you kidding me? No one believes you.
You know what?
His testicles
yes,
blew
they do.
off.
Most people don't believe you. But some of them are going to be like, my balls will explode if I get the vaccine now.
Well, then you carry him around in a wheelbarrow like Randy Marsh. Like a man!
Yeah. But then,
You
so
have to put
that
on the
story,
microwave for that.
Yeah,
that
true.
story
Good point.
generates how many people who are now not going to get it, right?
Yeah.
And then there's someone tells another story. Oh, I grew wings. And now how many people?
I just don't have time for this anymore. Yo, flat out, if you won't get a vaccine and you want to be in the NHL, you can't. Goodbye. See you later.
Yeah.
You're
Lefebvre
a big
also
fucking baby.
He was only hired in June from Anaheim's affiliate. So the Columbus hired him in June, and at the time they knew his stance on the vaccines, and they let him have this time period to see if he'll change his mind.
They
and
shouldn't
then
have done
That's
that.
fair.
This
No, I
time,
think that's fair.
yes, I think if this was the right person, but he needs the vaccine in order to do his job, because
Okay,
that was
fair.
very explicit that you can't be within 12 feet of players. So they said, okay, hopefully in that time, come training camp, you'll change your mind, you'll come to the right side of the debate, and he didn't. So they let him go. So he had an opportunity. He was a new hire.
Because that's two coaches now. Rocky Thompson was the other. I think he was with the Sharks, who I think that was like a mutual departure, and they were both new hires. I don't.
Man, you can listen. You can go the Bill Peters, Mike Keenan route. The KHL is calling. Good luck. But this is not going to change. So here's the thing.
Who's the first player, guys? Who's the first player?
Well, the thing is
There's
that
gonna
the
be a
players
player.
are going to be allowed to play.
No, without it though.
Without it, they're going to be allowed to play.
Really?
Yeah,
You get
there's
tested. Yeah, that was the thing. We went through the restrictions last episode. You're allowed to play. You just can't. You can't leave. You can't go. You can't enter any building other than the practice facility or the NHL facility. You can't even go pick up food. Like you can't do.
You can't interact with your teammates after the game.
can
They're
you
going to
go
get
to the
dinged
lobby?
and complain about it like Buddy on the Bills.
Can you go to the lobby and pick up food? Like I don't even know if you can do that.
I don't know.
Like
I don't
they're
know.
serious.
But the everybody around the team, it's mandatory for them to be vaccinated. But if you're on the team, there are some ways you can get around not being vaccinated. But you might as well just get it.
This is my thing. I do these guys think that the NHL is all of a sudden going to go after this season? Yeah, I think you know what? We're good with we're gonna change the policy now. Like Lefebvre, you are not going to work in the NHL again
until
you get the vaccine.
It's man.
And so, and I know we'll get a bunch of anti-vaxxers on here. I know you guys are like less than 5%, so I could care less. I really don't care. I'm so sick of talking about this, but you big, tough, mean hockey player can't get an approved vaccine. I don't know what's in it. It's actually on the bottle. And you think big, tough hockey player who probably didn't finish high school. You know what? I know more than scientists. This just absolutely drives me up the wall. And you know what?
You can have a PhD. It's still wrong.
Yeah.
You don't need
PhD in what?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding? And I just listen. It's not. It's an attitude that bothers me. Yeah. It's not even the thing. It's the attitude. It's the You know what? Okay. Off to Siberia.
That's COVID brain talking. That's so. Lefebvre, we haven't even heard anything from him. I'm giving
mad.
you the talk that I give myself.
Okay.
We haven't heard him say anything.
Okay, I'm internet mad right now, and that's.
You're getting
fair?
internet mad, and you're like, what would he say? I bet he'd say this.
Yeah, you're right.
Piece of shit.
Damn it.
And that's okay.
I'm fighting with someone in the shower.
But now, 3 pals were in a room again, and I can be like, pal, you need to pal it down a little.
You're right.
All right.
We don't know that he's a big, tough guy. He
Yeah.
just didn't get the vaccine. We haven't heard from him.
He might really like quilting and not getting vaccines. Those are his 2 jams.
2 things.
All right.
And Ted Lasso.
And it's a wonderful show, and I won't apologize.
I've heard that's a great show. I've not
It is
seen it yet.
It is a great show.
Huh.
It's a great show.
I've heard it's just delightful. Like all
It
of
is-
it's delightful. There's no swearing. It's just very nice.
There's lots of swearing.
Oh, is there?
But
okay.
it's
sweet.
It's I feel like everything is so cynical and nihilistic
It is.
now.
It is. You know what kicked that off, by the way?
What?
The Dark Knight. When that movie
don't-
came out, everything got
I
dark
don't-
after that. Then superheroes had to be
don't
darkness.
think
It was
that's it.
yeah, man.
There's no way.
I'm telling you. After the Dark Knight, movies got darker. Everything's like, well, we have to be real. Superheroes have to be real.
What
was the last?
What about like Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad's dark as fuck, man.
Yeah, that wasn't because of the Dark Knight.
Well,
I always get them confused.
yo, I'm telling you.
What about the
I'm telling
Sopranos?
you. Okay, listen.
What about
That
The
is
Wire?
such a depressing show.
Is it?
Right? Yeah, this is the Sopranos.
I've never seen the whole thing.
Oh, it's very
The Wire
funny.
is depressing.
Right.
Holy shit.
No, but that's because
So
of the Dark
good.
Knight.
You're right. Okay, fine. Maybe I'm wrong. But I just feel like there's this attitude, man, that just drives me crazy.
It's. I think we talked about this on the show months ago. I suppose we're off the vaccine thing now, but Your Honor with Bryan Cranston.
Unbelievable
Right.
show.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is missing something, but I love it.
I couldn't do it. I had to tap out,
Really?
knowing it's a wonderful show. It's an extremely well done, great show, well acted, amazing plot.
It's only 8 episodes. You can breeze through it, and that's it.
My heart, the palpitations.
The
It
tension.
stressed me out.
Oh, so that means it was incredible. That's what it's supposed to make you feel.
Yeah, but I didn't want that.
Yeah, you
Right?
just weren't in the mood.
I wasn't in
No,
the
Steve
mood.
gets enough of that from the Leafs.
Yeah.
Honestly. Seriously.
This was decaf. I've switched to decaf. Can any of you believe it?
The coffee is
No.
good. It is Nespresso.
It is,
But it is decaf.
quite good. No, until they give us a deal, you don't.
Oh,
say.
sorry. The
Yeah.
coffee is Pod brand.
Yeah, It's very
SDPN
good.
coffee beans.
That's right.
and then Ted Lasso comes on, and I'm just like, oh my god, adult Care Bears, thank you for this. Thank you for this. Oh,
Anyway. Okay, so here's one thing that will make you feel all the things then. If you want to talk, and I know you guys were talking about it before the show. You haven't seen this. I know you haven't, but the documentary on the Danbury Trashers of Danbury, Connecticut.
Trashers?
The Trashers.
The Trashers, yeah.
Because it's a mob garbage company that owns it.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
That's a
Okay,
lie. You
yes.
made that up.
No, okay, Steve.
Waste management.
I haven't given anything away.
Okay, watch the
Watch
damn.
it.
It's everything you love about everything.
Steve.
It's an Italian mob who starts a hockey team in the middle of the lockout.
And by the way,
I love it.
the guy that owns the team is considered the real life Tony Soprano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
He has a picture with James Gandolfini, and he on the picture James wrote to the real Tony Soprano, and it hangs in his office. And he pays guys with cash under the table.
Here's the great thing.
Oh my God, man.
And it involves an NHL player, and I won't say who, because you're gonna freak when you find out who it is. I had this guy's hockey card on like several different teams.
No way.
Yeah. When I think I gave all my cards to Steve. Did I give them all to you? I don't know what I did with my hockey
I don't
cards.
think you did.
I had 2,000 of them or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And I had his hockey card, and then he's on this team. Dude, it's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in my life.
And it's the UHL.
Yes.
So I was showing Jesse before the show. The only thing I know about the UHL is the video mic'd up in the UHL where they hooked up a guy whose last name is Ralph. So he's just got this Ralph jersey, and he's mic'd up for a game against the team that had. So this is a UHL team.
Yeah.
So this is like ECHL equivalent, maybe. And the team he's going up against, because it's the lockout, has Chris Chelios and Darian Hatcher.
Wow.
The same team.
That's the same year that this doc is filmed.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You will love this. You will love this. You will love it all the way
Are you going to
through.
get a chance to watch it before Thursday?
Can you please
Yeah.
make sure you do?
And then we can come on Thursday and do a full breakdown.
It's only an hour and a half. It's
I'm
super
in.
short.
I'm in.
Super short.
Ted Lasso's not till Friday. I'm in.
Jesse, what
I want to talk about
so bad.
his one buddy who's the equipment manager.
Oh my God!
I forget his name. Was
All right,
T-Bone?
all right.
Or
Yes,
something?
yeah, okay. So
He's my favorite.
So for Thursday, spoiler alert, we will be talking about this and breaking it down.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's the Untold series on
Yes.
Netflix. Untold Penalties and something and Penalties, like Crime and Penalties, I think it's called.
I'm going to read you.
Untold Crime and Penalties, I believe it. You have to watch this. You have to watch this. You have to watch this. That's your
Untold Crime and Penalties.
That's it.
There you go.
You must I've been dying for everybody to watch the F1 show, and it's so funny because every weekend I tweet about F1. I'm getting more and more people in my DMs like, you know what, I finally caved and listened to you about the F1 show, and it's the sickest thing I've ever seen. And I'm telling you, it's such a great show. I'm telling you with this one, Jesse, back me up.
Oh yeah, both of them. The Drive to Survive on Netflix, it's amazing, and Untold. It's if you like hockey, you'll love this. If you don't like hockey, you'll love it.
this.
It's a crime doc, but it involves hockey.
Yeah.
I love
It's
a good
incredible.
crime doc.
And
I love a good doc.
By the way, tell me this, the guy AJ in it,
Yeah.
okay?
Hey,
If Steve was a mafia don's son, is Steve not AJ? Steve is AJ.
oh no.
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
with your FUBU jeans.
Oh, and
I did not have FUBU jeans.
and
I
by
had
the way-
Rockaware and Carl Kanai.
Yo, by the way, Fubu's too expensive for Scarborough.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
But Jesse, just in his interests alone, don't even say what is it. But you know what were the two things AJ was interested in? Hockey and don't
Do you
say
want
it.
me- don't
No,
say it?
don't
Okay.
say it. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, it's Steve.
It's Steve.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
No,
Dude,
no.
it's you. This guy is you.
Okay. So I just want to mention his birthday party. I'm not going to say any details
come on.
about
No,
it. But
don't even say it. Don't even say it.
his birthday party.
No, you're killing me.
You're gonna be. He's like 5 years old, and his dad just does the most.
Yeah, like you know the scene from The Sopranos. Are you in the mafia? Like,
Daddy, you in the mafia? Mind the what?
man, so
It's
good.
a great doc. We can do a full breakdown on Thursday.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
I'm
Listen, we're
excited.
giving the spoiler alert already. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First off, Minnesota Wild and Caprizov. There hasn't been any chatting at all. And, this is the great thing about Michael Russo is when Michael Russo tweets something, everyone in the hockey world must listen. And, for a long time, the Wild were one of the least interesting teams in the NHL because they had two players making all the money. And then it was like, we might make it. Hopefully we make it past the first round this year. But now that those players are gone, and they've got 2 years to make it happen before the cap recapture kicks in. That's literally Bill Guerin's timeline here. He must make this happen now. Kaprizov knows it.
It's
Russo's breakdown on The Athletic on this is insane.
It's a built-in Last Dance.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what, to me, if you don't have the Minnesota Wild on your radar as the most exciting franchise over the next 24 months, this is they could break the league. This could be insane.
Okay, they're buyers.
Yeah.
Every time it comes up, they're buyers.
They're buyers. How smart they are with their buying those guys.
Who's in on this player? Minnesota. Who's in on this guy? Also Minnesota.
So, Michael Russo, the first quote of the article about what's it going to take to get Kaprizov done. Guerin, sounding exasperated, says, there are going to be some obstacles.
Interesting.
Now, when you are competing against a Russian offer from a player who grew up in Siberia, so you have to understand where this player comes from, right? Siberia is a tough place, and it's a cold place. So this player, for a lot of us, whoa, Russia, that's kind of scary. I think Ryan Whitney wrote something in the Players Tribune years ago about what it was like to play in Russia.
Oh, every story is wild.
Jamie McLennan, I remember him on TSN 1050 years ago when he just started, and he was talking about how his driver, I guess, picked him up from the airport, and there was another American or a Canadian in the car, and they got out because the driver got into a fight with somebody I think I'm misquoting him here, but the driver got into a fight with somebody on the highway, and they both pulled out guns on each other. They were just yelling at each other. And Jamie's like, what the hell? And this guy's like, dude, it's Russia. Everybody's a gun.
That's what okay, kids, close your ears. What I've noticed about fight videos on the internet is if they come out of Russia, there's no preamble. They don't puff out their chest and push and go, call you a bunch of... No, they walk into the fight. They walk into... There's no... I'm gonna... They don't explain to you that they're going to kick your ass. They simply kick it.
Right. They don't talk. They just... Business.
Yeah. And so they'll talk during the fight.
So Kaprizov is from an area of Russia that's really hard to live in. It's where they used to... It's where the Russian government sent Joseph Stalin when they were trying to punish him. Siberia was a Russian penal colony up until the 20s. And probably
Siberia is
after.
also enormous.
It's enormous,
which I did not realize.
Yeah. So he's probably...
It's got 4...
It's not from the super northern tip. But we're talking about a place that's tough to live in.
Pretty sure it's got at least 4 teams in it.
So...
Which is wild.
Kaprizov is a special hockey player, but Kaprizov, unlike a lot of North American players, has no issues playing in Russia. And he's got a 8-figure deal on the table with CSKA. So you're basically guaranteed to at least get to the Gagarin Cup final.
Oh.
And probably win it.
Walk.
Yeah. With Kaprizov, you're going to win.
Yes.
And I think at some point, I think they're probably asking him to match it. You want Kaprizov in the NHL, this is what it's going to take.
Well, I mean... Good for him in that, they put so many restrictions in place to stop players from making money. And, offer sheets. Well, who's going to do that? Who's going to offer 4 firsts and all that money? Who's going to do that? Mm-hmm. But he's got this unique position. Like the Darren Ferris thing with always saying my client's going to go play in Switzerland or whatever. It was a bit... it's funny, but you understand why he does it.
Right.
With Caprizov, there's at least an air of he might actually do this.
Oh, yeah. You believe it.
And also, I think part of Guerin believes it too.
Well, and this is the interesting part. So I guess the number that's been bandied about is about $9 million a year. And Guerin said, we've made a very fair offer and we're not far apart. But that's just where we are. And he said, if you were to ask Paul, I forget who his agent is, Paul something, and then of course Paul Theophanos and then of course Kirill, he said he might say something different, but that negotiation is going to be fascinating because if they don't get Kaprizov in uniform this year, they're down to 1 year next year for their window.
It's not going to happen. Well, and that's
not, what do you mean it's not going to happen? They're not going to get him?
No, they're not going to lose him.
I think they're going to have to capitulate. If the Leafs had to capitulate on Marner and Matthews, which is what they did. And arguably they did okay.
They'll lose on the negotiation.
Yeah.
But they're not going to lose the player.
They have to get the player.
They put themselves in a position where, so there's this guy, he doesn't mind going there. He's got an enormous offer from Russia, and he knows I mean, Guerin's balls are in a vice because of the cap situation.
Yeah.
So pay me my money. I didn't ask you to do that.
Is there
Pay
a
it.
situation where Minnesota pays Kaprizov the money and it's a bad deal? Or is it just like,
I don't know.
He's the star of the franchise. You pay him whatever he wants.
Can you look up his stats?
It's 27 goals, 24 assists, 51 points, 55 games. Playoffs in 7 games, 2 goals, 1 assist.
I mean, say what you want about Marner's deal. He was an NHL player for 3 years leading up to it.
Yeah, and he just this guy just walks in and does that at 24.
Yeah,
So
that's Kaprizov's
It's
rookie
Panarin-esque.
season.
It's Panarin-esque.
Is there a scenario? Yeah, absolutely. He's got, what was it, 55 games?
55 games of NHL experience.
What 55 game player gets that kind of money?
But it's so unique for Kaprizov because he came in and he lights up the franchise. He's instantly the star of the Minnesota Wild. He's fastest player on the ice. Everybody loves him. So do you just, because you don't regret the deal if it's your franchise player. Like you can never you can never regret giving Alexander Ovechkin $50 million to play for the Washington Capitals because the amount of jerseys, the amount of what OV means to the Capitals, it's worth any dollar amount. So if Kaprizov is that to the Wild, then you don't regret the deal. But there's a chance there's a chance he doesn't be that. It could become that.
There's a reason why no one in Toronto saw Matthews cap it and went, oh no. Like we were like, yeah, no, it's a superstar. Cool.
And if you're if you're his agent, you're looking at another 24-year-old, and you're going to have to compare. It's either Panarin, which is I think the direct comparable, Panarin at that age.
Yeah.
Or you're looking at Marner.
Even Marner's younger than Kaprizov, is he not?
No, they're about 20. Well, I mean, maybe he is, but he's 24. Kaprizov is both 97s.
What was Kaprizov's draft year? Was it 15?
2015 fifth round pick.
Okay,
them are
both of them.
15.
Fifth.
Man, the Leafs should have just. So here's the thing.
Yep.
Wow.
And Marner had 67 points in 55 games. You know, from a regular season standpoint, I know people are mad about the Marner contract, and we've had our issues with it. However, you know, the guy would have had 100 points this year.
Well, and Panarin
And Kaprizov will. Right?
We hope.
You think like Panarin is making 11.6, but the deal he signed after his breakout rookie season was not 11.6.
Different era, though, right?
Different era. But
And
this guy's walking in and asking for 10.
Yeah, but the Blackhawks had Taves and King.
They sure did, and a lot more.
Right, so they had guys to say, eh. I also think that the way that RFAs are negotiated now versus then, very different. After what happened in Toronto with Marner and Matthews and Nylander, frankly, I think it's different. I think we've seen it. I think we see players are getting paid a little bit more now.
You know what? Good.
I'm not against that
Because
it bothers me against I'm not mad at the players. I'm mad at the hard cap. That's what I'm mad at.
What I was mad at is like friggin' Braden Point comes in and signs for like $5 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you joking me right now?
Yeah.
Are you actually joking me right now? And yes, the world changed. But now we're seeing the correction.
Yep.
If you guys are Bill Guerin, do you have a walk away point? Because if I was Bill Guerin, I don't.
Nope.
I cave. I cave at the end. I give him what he wants.
Yeah. I mean, if he wants 11 and you want to give him 9, try to settle at 10. Does anyone hate Kaprizov at $10 million?
Caprizov.
Is it any worse than Eichel? Is it any worse than what Taze is looking at if he doesn't come back? You know.
That's a funny name you brought up, Adam.
Well, that's the thing is he can go out and get Eichel if he wants.
Kaprizov.
Well, then then they can
You
pretty
like
much
that?
guarantee he's never coming
You
back.
might
to
as
the
well go
NHL.
play in Russia.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Although,
I
if you're
simply
Kevin
won't
Adams-
play is a really great no trade
Kevin
clause.
Adams could probably deal that to a team that would be able to pay him. Like I would say that San Jose would be a guy or would be a team if they could figure out a way to shed some salary that they're wild enough that they pay their stars in San Jose, right?
Now we're cooking with oil.
Right.
I like this. A 3-way trade involving Caprizov and Eichel.
And
Let's
then
go.
And how do you get, you need to get warm bodies to play for the Sabres. with experience, and San Jose has that. Like you could, I don't know who's got a no trade clause there, but like, I mean, they got to turn it around quickly because listen, Erik Karlsson's not there for another rebuild.
Remember we did Who the Hell Plays Goal for the Coyotes?
You want to?
Who plays for the Sabres?
Okay, who play Sabres?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say San Jose. Do you know who plays for San Jose?
Yeah, Reimer.
And
Aiden Hill.
Wow, well done.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, so a lot of their big players have no trades or like limited no trades. But if you look at like Brent Burns is a modified no trade, Vlasic has a no move, Karlsson has a no move.
What are you're trying to do?
Trying to figure out a deal.
Eichel or Kaprizov to San Jose?
I'm trying to figure out somehow where the Sabres provide. First off, they get a bunch of picks and prospects, whatever.
Yep.
They provide the salary cap room for San Jose to be able to take someone like that on, like a Kaprizov.
Does Eichel go to Minnesota?
Yes.
So
in this scenario,
Eichel to Minnesota. Minnesota sends picks to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo sends Kaprizov to San Jose. San Jose sends picks and players, whatever, to Buffalo.
And yeah, San Jose gives them the cap. Or sorry, Buffalo gives
Is
them
Buffalo
the cap.
is Buffalo? Is San Jose going for it this year?
No, but I think they want to turn it around quick. Because I still think that they have it.
All those big money guys, though, probably have modified at least no move clauses.
They do.
Oh, God.
Even Brent Burns at modified no trade. Vlasic has a no move. Karlsson has a no move. Couture has a modified no trade. Kane has a modified no trade. Hurdle has a modified no trade. Benino with modified no trade.
So they have right now $2.6 million in projected cap space.
Who's this?
San Jose.
San Jose.
So they'll need to clear $8 million back in the trade.
What I'd like to you could
pile up $8 million worth of contracts, and there's the deal.
So Hurdle is up, but two guys I'd be interested in if I'm Buffalo.
Hurdle could be involved in the deal too.
Well, he could, but two guys I'd be very interested in if you want to take some serious money back. Like if you want to take $10 million back or $11 million, Hurdle, Kevin LeBlanc, and Nick Bonino. Because Kevin LeBlanc's got the future, right? He's 25.
Is it LeBanc?
LeBlanc, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why I saw the L there. Hurdle and then LeBlanc and then whatever.
Yeah.
But those are guys that's like, okay, there's a semblance of a team there. There's players there.
Can we play who's the goalies for Buffalo? Because I think I remember.
You're still on that.
Let me see.
Well, because if I'm not mistaken, they don't have a goalie who makes more than league min. I'm serious.
You would be correct. Who are they?
Aaron Dell and Craig Anderson.
You are correct.
Nice. Good memory.
Oh my God. Well, and Juha Pekka-Luukkonen in the minors, who has not been great. Oof, Maroon.
It's tough. Woo! It's tough.
Wow.
But
wow.
They need warm. What I'm saying is they need warm bodies.
On your trade, I don't hate the Kevin LeBlanc and Hurdle back to Buffalo.
But how do you keep Hurdle, right? Benino's got the longer contract, but you need Bonino for
I think if you're Buffalo, you want expiring.
Do you?
Yeah. Then you flip them again at the trade deadline.
Oh, good point.
You know?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. It's the Arizona model. You just keep flipping everybody.
You're a bus stop.
Exactly.
Buffalo is a bus stop this year.
But
long term fart.
There's a trade there.
Fart.
No, but it's like the Sens from a couple years ago. It's like, we are going to keep you here because we have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We need to dress somebody.
Yeah.
There's a trade there if you really want to work it out.
So this is the thing. We had a lot of passionate reaction to Alan Walsh coming on and talking about the modified cap that I have been suggesting for years. With teams bottoming out like the Sabres and the Sens and the Leafs too.
Mm-hmm.
But the Leafs are different because you're going to have fans anyway. There's so many of us. With the Sabres and the Sens, is this what we want? Do we want teams that are really stripped to the bone like the Sabres have been for 8 years?
And the Coyotes.
Ducks, what are they going to do? What is San Jose going to do? Like, is this what because this is what the salary cap brings us. Parity. Not as much financial parity as you think, nor as much as the league could have. Objectively, mathematically, you could make more money if you had a luxury cap. Luxury to hard, as in there will be a hard cap, but if you tax a team for spending into it, is this good for Buffalo?
And then
we're talking about, hey, you get Hurdle for about 3 seconds until you fired him into the sun.
And two of the final four teams were spending like $90+ million in the Lightning and the Islanders.
Why not tax them on it?
Or Islanders.
Why
were
aren't we
like
taxing
88
them on it?
or something?
We should at least be taxing them on it. Tax them on LTIR. Tax them on something.
And how much dead money is there? And how much like the Parise buyout and the
Man, I keep
Suter
saying it.
buyout?
Anyway.
It's fake. The salary cap is literally fake money.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway.
The Leafs are able to give guys $15 million signing bonuses, but they make league min.
Isn't that what Tavares is doing? He's making like $750,000 a year.
Yeah, like Marner's cap hit went up because league min went up. So
That's amazing.
Marner, sorry, you're it's actually $25 that you make or whatever. It's all fake.
Do you want me to read some of the reactions? Because we put it out on the SDPN Twitter account, which we just started. Go follow at SDPN Sports.
Yep, I do want you to.
And there was a lot of positive reaction of people wanting the salary cap gone.
Okay.
But yeah, we tweeted out the video of Alan Walsh saying, hey, we should get rid of the salary cap. And some of the arguments against doing that were like this one from Buff Tucker. It says, this league is plenty competitive because of the salary cap. It needs to stay where it is. Another one said, this from Mike, it would bring back dynasties. Sadly, the Leafs would remain the same.
Yeah, that's true.
What? What?
Dan said, easy answer why it's this way. The league wants parity. That's American sports for the most part. Another one. This
is that American sports? Because I haven't seen that as American sports.
I don't
Are the
think
Patriots
so.
not a dynasty? Is that not a luxury to hard tax?
The mere
They've got a
existence of basketball?
Are you kidding
Right.
me? Really? Do you guys watch other sports? Do you watch other sports?
This is just some of the Twitter.
Do you watch other
reactions.
sports?
Detroit went to back-to-back
Also,
finals.
let me-
Pittsburgh went to back-to-back finals. Pittsburgh won back-to-back
Okay.
cups. Chicago won 3 cups. Kings won twice in 3 years. Tampa won back-to-back cups. Okay, by the way, parity as a selling point for the NHL, we need to knock that off. This league doesn't have parity.
No, it doesn't. Well, look at the Sabres.
The Sabres have been in the toilet for God knows how long.
Arizona, Ottawa, Anaheim, they're all fucked.
The Leafs have at least pinged up and down the standings in the regular season.
Ottawa's
for
going to
God's
get
sake.
much better, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out Sens fans.
Do you want me to read some of the more reactions?
Please.
There's a lot on both sides. This one's from Sam. It
On both
said,
sides.
On both sides. This one's from Sam. It said, I disagree. Rich teams would get such an unfair advantage. Teams like St. Louis who would have never won a cup with that system. That's coming from a Habs fan, by the way, from a fan whose team would benefit a lot from this.
I'm
one
sorry,
is from...
did St. Louis not have any stars before? Do you guys... I know our audience is younger. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But did none of you watch hockey before 2004?
No, but St. Louis also was on the verge of trading everybody prior to their Stanley Cup.
Because they
Remember
were
that?
in last place.
Well, because they were in
the cap
last
era.
in the cap era. You have to. Everyone must go. Petrangelo, Parayko, all this.
But did St. Louis not have Chris Pronger and Al McInnes and Brett Hall and Shane Corset and Wayne Gretzky? I'm sorry. Did you listen?
the Sharks were juiced.
We need to go back
They
and
haven't won
please
it.
watch hockey. Go look at the results in the standings before 2000. What teams? Yes, there were teams quote unquote financially struggling. I get it. But what teams were just not competitive at all?
Didn't you notice the smart team stayed smart? The smart team stayed smart, with the exception of Detroit, who is very obviously intentionally bad.
And they're a smart team.
And they're smart.
And they weren't smart under Holland, who's gone to Edmonton, who are not smart.
Historically,
Not smart.
well, outside of
The 80s.
1990. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't... Give me an example. Give me a real example. Even the Coyotes had Craig Janney and Jeremy Roenick and Nikolai Habibulin and Teemu... what was his name? Teemu...
Solani?
No, not Teemu... what was it?
I know.
Who was
you're
that?
talking about.
Nieminen. Teppo Nieminen.
Teppo Nieminen.
Like...
Danny Briere.
Danny Briere. Shane Doan in his prime.
We're talking pre-salary cap.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Boulin Wall.
Yeah. I mean, guys, it's not like this didn't exist. New Jersey. How many cups did New Jersey win pre-cap? Small market New Jersey. And they are a small market
How
team.
many cups have they won since?
I don't know how many.
There's a small market team that hasn't benefited. They made it to the Cup final once. You know what I mean?
And everybody goes, well, Anaheim won in 2008. Okay, well, they were in the finals like 4 years before that, too.
I'd love to know if a wider variety of teams have won the Cup as a result of the cap. I'm pretty sure it's less. Carolina wins the first year and then Anaheim the next. And we all go, hot diggity damn, we got ourselves a parody hit. And since then, it's been the same
Detroit,
people.
Pittsburgh. Who won in the 90s? Detroit, Pittsburgh. Who are the next two teams who win? Detroit, Pittsburgh. And then what else we have? Chicago, which hadn't won in a long time. Chicago should have won a cup in the mid-90s. They had Belfour and Hasek. They blew that.
They made the final.
Amante, Roenick, that was a team that should have won.
They ran into Lemieux.
Yeah. Fair.
But like since the Cap started, Pittsburgh's got 4 appearances in the Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago's got 3. Kings got 2. Bruins have 3. Tampa's got 3. Guys.
And also, when was the last time small market team Buffalo Sabres? When were they competitive? When was the last time they were competitive?
2004? Was it? When did they eliminate Alfredsson Sens?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to see the results. I'm looking.
No, that was 07. They were really good.
Right.
They were really, really good. They have won a playoff series more recently than the Leafs.
Buffalo Sabres.
Everyone has.
Hockey, DB. Yeah, I mean, come on.
You're not special.
Join the club. Everybody is welcome.
I wanted. I wish that it was easier to find like team results. Like, where can I find team results?
Literally type in Buffalo Sabres results by year, and Hockey Reference should pop up.
Or Wikipedia. Wikipedia is great for that. Buffalo Sabres by seasons. Wiki.
I'm pretty sure that like Chris Drury, Danny Briere, ridiculous season was 2007.
Okay.
Thomas Vanek.
The last time they made the playoffs more than twice in a row was the 97-98 through 2000-2001. Since then, in the Cap era, the Sabres have made the playoffs 4 total times.
That's not true. They made the playoffs in back-to-back 09, 10, 10, 11.
No, I said more than 2 times.
So 3 times.
Yeah.
What?
I said more than twice.
3 or more.
So they had a 3-year run when they made. That's you're setting the bar kind of high.
Yo, okay, fine. But okay, so in the Cap era, the Sabres have made the playoffs 4 times.
Yeah, I thought the examples I used were good, but let's go with yours. Let's go with yours.
Like, what teams were all of a sudden magically competitive under the Cap that weren't before?
I guess the races are a little tighter, but are they?
Are they?
I don't know if they are. Also, it's artificial because of the loser point. The Cap didn't do that. The loser point did.
I mean, even like people will be like, well, the Nashville Predators. Well, they started in 98, 99.
That's another, like, I now that we've actually talked it out, I think the parity thing is false.
It's bullshit.
I don't think it's real.
You don't think the salary cap creates parity?
No. Okay. I think it creates boring.
I think Sidney Crosby creates parity of Pittsburgh being on top all the time, and Ovechkin the same, and
he saved them.
And Dan's. Yes.
I think I'm going to call this segment Jesse reads tweets and Steve and Adam get triggered.
All right. I'm triggered. Years of advocating for this and knowing
we're just poisoned.
Knowing that everybody's just swallowing the pill that Gary Bettman's like. Everybody's like, on every other issue, everybody's like, I question Gary Bettman. On this one, they're like, you know what? Gary's got it. Are you sure? This is the guy that's feeding you this. Are you sure?
We've been poisoned by Alan Walsh propaganda.
Oh,
Gary
that's
would
what
say.
it is. All right. Now, what else we got? Jesse?
Those were the tweets.
Those ones, okay.
Yeah. We were
going to do our way too early predictions this episode. We're not. But do we have questions? Can we do a press conference?
You want to do a press conference?
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. You can check out betterhelp.com/SDP. Now, life is full of stressors. We know that. It can be your family. It can be your job. It could be your partner and what's going on in their life. And you might have no control over it. If you're feeling a little down and out or depressed, maybe like you're like a total loss. Maybe your stress is high. Maybe your temper's shorter than usual. It could be anything. Unload your stress. Get it out and talk to someone with a completely unbiased view about your life. Someone who isn't going to judge you or take sides on anything. They just want to help. And when there are things that you can't tell anyone, BetterHelp is the place to go. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't even have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Unload the stressors and get some unbiased feedback that you'd be pretty surprised, actually, what you can gain from this. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Steve Dangle Podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/SDP. That's BetterHelp.com/SDP.
Doesn't it feel good to feel good? Like when you feel good, when you look good, it feels good. You remember that night for a long, long time. And the thing is that like the world's opening back up. We're going to have to get out again to emerge from our caves. And I know I'm coming to you from the basement of my house, but seriously, that's what we're looking at here. I can't just wear these ratty old t-shirts anymore. That's why I think you should check out Indochino.com. Because right now, you can get $50 off any purchase of $399 or more using the code SDP at checkout. And again, Indochino is special because we're talking about custom-fitted suits, shirts, casual wear, and a lot more at very low prices. Like I said, you can get a suit for $399 with $50 off. That's not bad, right? Just use that promo code SDP. And when you think about this, you can actually customize every single detail. So if you are very particular, like my friend Jesse Blake is, when he puts our jerseys together, you do things like the fabric, the lapel, the monogram, statement linings. You could create the suit that fits you. And if you're like me and you got the hockey legs and a big bum, it's really hard. And I'm being honest about this. It's hard for me to shop for a suit. And with Indochino, it's easy. Because I just send them my measurements, and they're not like, hey, you're a large, or hey, you're a medium. It's, hey, you're the size that you are. Let's make you a suit that looks great on you. And that's why you need to check out Indochino.com. They're also available around the country in Nordstrom stores, so you can kind of look them up at Indochino.com, find out which Nordstrom store if you prefer in-store shopping. But if you want to do it online, Indochino.com. That's INDOCHINO.com. Promo code SDP for $50 off with a $399 order.
You know, it's been a long, tough couple of years, hasn't it? You deserve some rest. You deserve some relaxation. You deserve comfort. Fall into comfort and make it a top priority this season. And who's more of an expert about that than Brooklinen? It's time to save big and invest in your comfort during Brooklinen's Labor Day sale. It's happening now. Brooklinen makes beautiful, high-quality bedding and everything you need to make a house a home. Brooklinen makes bedding for every kind of sleeper, whether you sleep hot like I do or cold like my girlfriend does or somewhere in the middle. They got you covered. And it doesn't stop there. If your bedroom is all set, make every day a spa day with a choice selection of excellent absorbent towels available in a number of colors. Brooklinen has over 80,000 five-star reviews and counting, and there's a reason for that. Freshen up your fall with Brooklinen and your one-stop shop for comfort. You can shop the Labor Day savings event now for savings on all things comfort. And if you can't decide right now, you can invest your comfort with the promo code SDP anytime. That's brooklinen.com, promo code SDP for $20 off. Check it out. brooklinen.com, promo code SDP. There's a lot of reasons why you might be losing sleep. Is it the fact that there's an election in Canada right now? Or if you're in the States, is it the fact that you just got over an election and that was pretty exhausting? Is it the pandemic? Is it your love life? Is it drama that you just can't control? Whatever it is, trust me, I've been there. I know what it's like not to get a great sleep. We know what it's like not to get a great sleep. And Helix wants to help you out with that. So Helix is really interesting because they've got a quiz. It takes 2 minutes to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. So, why would you buy a mattress for somebody else that's made for somebody else? With Helix, you're going to get a mattress that will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models for you to choose from. Soft, medium, firm mattresses that are great for cooling you down, which is something I need because I'm a sweaty boy. And Helix Plus for people who are plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz. I was matched with a mattress that, like I told you, helped me cool down. And I sleep on my face. I know that's really bad for you. And if you're a chiropractor and you're listening, I'm sorry. But that's just how I get my best sleep. And Helix matched me with a mattress that helps me with that. It's been awesome seeing all the unboxing Helix videos too. You should check out some of those online. If you're looking for a mattress, just go to helixsleep.com/SDP. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz. It's super easy, and they're going to match you with the mattress for you so that you can get the best sleep of your life. And Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders, plus 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/STP. That's helixsleep.com/STP for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows. One thing I would like to say before the press conference, and this is dark, but I think it needs to be said. Rick Westhead, friend of the show, another article today, an American, and I'm just going to read you, this is today from TSN Hockey. An American think tank that studies child sexual abuse and prevention is asking the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee to suspend Stan Bowman from his position as U.S. Olympic men's hockey team GM.
Wow.
Now, I just want to throw this out there before we get to the press conference and back to the fun, because I think we told you we would keep talking about this, and we will. First off, read the article. We'll link to it. Second, I'm surprised they had to ask.
I think in his position, stepping down could be viewed as an admission or
but
weakness.
They're not asking Stan to step down. They're asking the Olympic Committee to suspend him.
Oh, I understand.
They're saying, don't fire him. Just wait till the investigation's done. And that's what I'm surprised they have to ask about. I'm shocked.
I think they're still going with the it's going to go away thing. We're all going to get excited about September, October, and the Blackhawks have all these fun things planned. And what if they win some games? Here's Marc-Andre Fleury, boys and girls. Here's Seth Jones. Here's some shiny new toys, and they're just gonna keep going. They got to make it last till in this case February. Can we get away with this until February?
Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
First question comes from... first of all, join our Discord.
Yes.
If you want to ask press conference questions, we have a press conference channel there. For the first time ever, we had 1,000 people online on the server chatting
at
the same time.
Wow.
At the same time. So if you want to have conversations about sports or about life or about anything really, about the podcast, join our Discord. You'll find people there who want to talk.
I'm considering doing a YouTube live on history, just the history thread, because there's so many questions in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it.
And Robert Malloy, who is one of the admins, is like, hey, we can clean this up for you. And pull some questions, and then I could do that on like a Friday or something. Like I know Jesse stream Twitches. The other thing I want to shout out quickly is our F1 chat, which was ballistic this weekend.
Yeah, how was that?
The Grand Prix was insane, and like a 1-2 finish for McLaren, which is sort of my team, was awesome. And Ricciardo winning his first game since first race since 08 18 was amazing. But the what was great about it was just we might be a small group, but it's a very passionate group. It was just all day long. It's been amazing. And they helped me buy my F1 video game wheel. So I actually was like, what one would you guys get? Because these guys all race. They do Gran Turismo online, Forza Horizon online, and they do F1, EA Sports F1. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start Twitch streaming as soon as we can get the equipment in. So that's going to be my thing.
I love that you got that external controller for it.
You mean the
so
racing
fun.
wheel?
Yeah, well, because I haven't used something like that since I used to play NHL 99 for PC with a joystick.
Me too.
Yeah,
I had 2000 with Pronger on the cover.
99 was Lindros.
Yeah, so I had 99 for N64, and I got 2000 for PC, and I had a joystick, and it was like literally you'd pass it with the back button and then shoot it with the trigger button.
We're old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I learned with the keyboard, and then I got the joystick, and I learned with that as well.
If you want to start streaming on Twitch, we'll get you set up this week, and we'll do that.
Can we?
Yeah. If you want to do that, that'd be very helpful.
Well, here's the other thing. The problem with that is that I need to be better. Monaco, which is one of the hardest races in the world, kicked my ass. And actually, everybody that I talked to in the F1 chat's like, oh, yeah, if you have to race Monaco, just drop Monaco. Like, it sucks. Everybody hates Monaco. So
this is how I know Adam hasn't watched you play GTA.
What?
Well, because you stink.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't... Sorry, it doesn't matter if you're good. Just do it.
Matters that you're you.
It matters that you're having fun.
Well, let me just try. I haven't even set up the wheel yet, so I'd like to at least try.
Did you get the Logitech one or the Thrustmaster one?
Logitech?
Okay.
Yeah, just because the
Those
guy.
are the two entry level ones.
So there's a race called Le Mans, and I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but there's okay, so that's the 24-hour race, and you have 4 drivers, and they each race 6 hours or whatever it is. The guy that won it this year. By the way, more people watched the online version of it than actually watched the physical race, which is unbelievable. Le Mans is famous, but more people watch the esports version than the actual race, which is bananas.
Oh, so what game? What game do they play?
I think it's either Turismo or Forza. I don't,
or like the
I don't know enough
thing.
Yeah, whatever it is.
So they did a video game version of this race
of the 24-hour race.
It'd be like if they played the Super Bowl in Madden,
and
more people watched the Madden version than the actual Super Bowl.
More people watched the Le Mans version, from what I read.
That's wild.
Which is crazy. So beyond that, the guy that won it with a $250 Logitech steering wheel.
Nice.
And that's the entry-level steering wheel.
That's the G29.
The G29.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I mean, if it's good enough for him, I'm sure I don't. People were like sending me links. So it's like, well, here's a $2,000 F1 specific version. I'm like, I am not good enough for that. I don't deserve that. But yeah. So anyway.
So we're gonna race.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
Let's set up a date, and you pick a track, and then I can do my time trials on that.
We're gonna do the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal.
That's the one you want to do.
Way more fun than Monaco, and it's Canadian. We had to do that one.
Okay.
Right?
So I'll set up your Twitch stream, and then you practice online or whatever you want to do, and then we'll pick a date in like October, and we'll set it up, and we'll race.
Love it. And I think what we're going to do long term is I'm actually going to pick an hour each week to do it, and then I'm going to just do a career mode. So we'll walk through career mode and talk about it. Is that fair?
Do it. I'm very.
Are you gonna watch it?
I would watch that. Yeah. I watched Jesse.
I haven't had the chance to watch Jesse. I'm sorry.
Are you getting better?
Not really. No.
That's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
Well, the game gets easier as you go.
We have stuff we do on the Twitch channel each week now. Like we have traditions with we call it. So this is the Dangle Navy. People who listen to the podcast, the fans of it, we call you guys the Dangle Navy. And then we call the people who watch my Friday Twitch streams the crew.
Nice.
Like the boat and the crew. And then so
I like that because it rhymes with the poo. You guys are all smelly.
Yeah. We're on the deck cleaning the poo.
And when you do your heists in GTA, you have to pick your crew.
Oh, there you go.
I love that.
So one of the traditions we do shout out where you're watching from, and we do what are you up to this weekend, because it's Friday. We celebrate being Fridays, and 2 weeks, not this past Friday, but the weekend before, there's a user named Mo Rivera. That was his handle. He was like, tomorrow, my partner's giving birth to my child. I was like, what are you doing here, sir?
Yeah.
So we had our first baby Twitch commenter on Twitch.
Wow.
So that was fun.
That's pretty cool.
Those are the things that happen on Friday streams. People announce their babies.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Okay.
So it's a good time. Join us if you haven't yet.
Okay.
We'll get Adam set up as soon as we can.
Any of you having babies? Join Twitch.
This question from the press conference server channel on Discord for Steve. Has there ever been a trade tree where you were disappointed in the results? It's from Maddie.
Yes. There were trade trees that we... Here's the problem with trade trees, right? So we try to look for big names. We try to look for trades that involve at least one Canadian team or two. And the research takes a while, man.
Yeah.
It takes a while. And the problem is you'll look and you'll be like, oh, here's a big name. And he went to this team and this happened. And all right, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. And then we get the full research and we're like, oh, most of this stinks. So how do we do that then? Can we do it? Should we spend a lot of time on the early part of it that's significant and then sort of be like, and then the trade sort of gets boring and turns to shit, and there's a lot of tiny moves that happen, and like I'm trying to think of a tree that was sort of like that. The Kovalchuk trade tree. With, I think it's Atlanta and Chicago. No, it couldn't be. No. Was it Byfuglien going to Atlanta? I think that's what it was. I remember there were so many bits to that, And there were some really juicy parts, but so much of it was just
junk.
It's just, and
Fat.
trade trees involving the Thrashers, I have to throw in the garbage. I really do have to throw in the garbage. Everything that team did was shit.
Yeah.
Everything that team did was shit. I did one recently that was how the Rangers got Mark Stahl, and it was because of a trade that they did with Atlanta. And literally all the Rangers got out of the trade was Mark Stahl. That's all they got. And they recently traded him to Detroit, so their tree keeps going. There was some sort of pick involved or whatever. Atlanta gets 2 picks, and it turned into this guy and that guy, and there's all these first rounders involved. Garbage. Didn't play. 4 games, didn't play. Trash. And you can't know that until the very end of the research. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there are some that have been disappointing. There was one that when we did 7 in like a week and a half in July, it was very difficult. Steve, why you seem so grumpy and burnt out? Well, the Leafs just lost, and also all of this. There was one where I just said, no, we're not doing it. I got the full research, and I had to just apologize to producer Drew and producer Stu. I just went, guys, this sucks. I can't jazz this up. Yeah. Nothing happens in this deal. We do have some deals coming up that are a little smaller. So, because people have been complaining that they're not all the Lindros trade tree.
Well, yeah,
which
was
like
40 minutes.
Yeah.
We did 2 that are over 40 minutes long. We have some shorter ones coming up. I actually have to make one by tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing that tonight. But we have a few very large ones planned.
Fun.
I'm very excited.
Adam, I was taking a look at the Adam's History Corner channel.
Okay.
You have 2 choices. You can explain the book you were most reading recently by Nick Lloyd. You can talk a little bit about that on the show, because you did in the channel, and I want to show people what they can get when they go onto Discord. They get Adam talking about books like this,
right?
Or you can talk about the Ford Motor Company and how they changed the entire world. Do you know the history of that?
Well,
can you do that one?
Yeah,
on the
I can
spot?
do. I can
do you
do a
want to
little
do
bit.
both?
I can do. Well, the Nick Lloyd book is super simple and quick. Here, let me just. There's a few books going up, but the Nick Lloyd one is the Western Front, a history of the Great War. Dan Carlin does a great job, but Nick Lloyd does, with his podcast, but Nick Lloyd does a great job in summarizing the relationships between the generals and the politicians. And, that sounds like super boring, but it's actually really interesting because it's literally a bunch of backbiting. And, I think it's Nivelle gets in there in France in like 1916, and he's like, I'm young and cool. And we're gonna do this thing. And then the Germans go, oh, they're going to do this thing. Well, we're going to back off three lines. And he's like, we'll change nothing. We'll continue to do the plan. And of course, the French get slaughtered. It's terrible. There's so many interesting little twists and turns. And the World War I is by far the thing I've read the most about. So it's the thing I'm most passionate about, because I genuinely think it has had the biggest effect on humanity of any 4 years thing. That version of events is, on our today we live with all of the fallout from that. And World War II is
taught here is so
well. And
wrong.
Frankly, to me, World War II is an echo of World War I. Yeah. It happened because World War I happened. And World War I is where the century begins to me.
It was a 20-year armistice.
So my thinking is, when I read this, I'm like, I'm probably going to know everything. There was so many little correspondence and things, like they're just being passive aggressive at each other. And like, you think about these are commanders who have been in the military for 40 years. First off, they know nothing about what's happening on the field because they've never seen it. They never go. And they know nothing about modern military tactics. They had sent people to Russia and for the Russo-Japanese War in like 1905. Took nothing from it. They're just idiots. They don't know what they're doing. And it's like, they just ignore. It's just fascinating. So I think you should read that one. And that's it's just a spectacular read if you're into World War I for sure. And then the other thing was the Ford Motor Company, right?
Yeah, this is from Raimu 2000. The Ford Motor Company changed the entire world. It's how insane. It's insane how much they did. Can you talk about that a little?
Okay, so I'll make this super quick. There's 2 main factors here, and again, I actually know more about how they survived the crash in 2008. There are 2 automakers that made it through 2008 without going bankrupt. Can you name them?
Is it
Ford and
GM?
No.
I don't know.
Tesla.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
They were a startup. It does count.
Yes.
All the rest of them took money, went, bankruptcy, protection, all that stuff. Ford and so there's a really good book about Alan Mulally and how he saved the Ford Motor Company, which was doing terribly before the crash. By the way,
Who's Malala?
Who's Malala? That's a great show. So the two things that Ford did differently were things that corporations today could learn a lot from, especially on the second point. The first point is they come up with the assembly line. So instead of me and Jesse and Steve building the entire table together, Jesse pulls the things out of the box, Steve screws them in, and I do quality control.
Instead of me taking 3 hours to build a TV stand, we have a Steve bot.
Yeah, but that's essentially, the moving thing, that was revolutionary. Before that, there was like, well, we have to put the wheels on. Now you have a wheel specialist and a bracket specialist and a metal specialist, and that's all they do. And that's the thing you do every day. And they say now, like if you're working online, it can be boring because you're doing the same thing every day. But that at the time, not only did it make things safer because you knew what you were doing at all times and you repeated and repeated and repeated and knew the strategy, but it also made it a lot faster because you got better at the one thing that you did, right? The second thing is Henry Ford said, and Henry Ford was a anti-Semite, maniac, power-hungry. His second in command used to carry a gun around the Ford motor plant. The guy was fucking crazy. Henry Ford's nuts. However, the one good thing he did, and he was an ardent right-wing lunatic who liked Hitler, but the one socialist thing he did was he raised the wages of Ford workers. Not only ensuring that they got the best workers, because it was like $5 a day he raised it to, but he made sure that Ford workers could buy Ford cars. And he didn't offer, what they do today is they're like, well, we're going to pay you the same as we did in 1980, but we'll give you a 20% discount. No, what he did was he said, we're going to raise your salary to the point where you're going to be able to live a comfortable life. And he hated unions, but you're going to be able to live a comfortable life and you will be able to drive a Ford, because the best marketing tactic that he could have done is word of mouth. And he had a bunch of people driving Fords who worked for Ford and saying, look at how great this car is. Boy, this Model T is super great. Look at this Model A. It's super great. And that's why it took off. Now, I'm not saying Henry Ford was a great man, but certainly a very intelligent businessman. And those two factors alone changed and revolutionized the automobile, made the need for Eisenhower to come in after World War II and say, we need highways, a nation, like a network of highways. So that's where, when you say, all right, I'm going to take the I-95 or whatever, that's the intercoastal or whatever I think is what it stands for. All of that happened because of Ford. And so, and GM and Chrysler and Dodge and all of them copied it. And that's, up until recently, that was the whole thing, is you went in, you had the union, you got paid properly, and you drove the car of the automaker that you worked for. And it almost became like a gang, right? So I on those two major points, I hope that's what he was talking about in the Discord chat, he or she or they. Those are the 2 points I know. Do I need to do more research on it? Absolutely. But that was perfect. Those are the two things that I know.
Awesome.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Jeez.
And corporations today kind of ought to do the same thing. You should be raising the minimum wage of your workers.
The company recently that agreed to pay all of their employees a minimum wage of $70,000.
Yeah.
Their CEO did an update on how spectacularly that went. They've expanded. They've created new offices
tripled
around
revenue
the world.
in 4 years.
They've tripled revenue in 4 years. It's been unbelievable.
Wow.
To this day, that model still works, which is paying your employees a fair wage.
Imagine saying to a company, I can triple your revenue in 4 years. Everybody would say, fuck off, you're not hired. No one can do that.
Yeah, right.
No one can do that.
Yeah, by paying everyone a lot.
And by the way, this isn't some, and nothing against this, but he's not some venture capitalist funded guy. We're talking about real revenue from sales.
What is the company?
I forget the...
I was looking at the tweet the other day.
Yeah, and I was reading the article, but I never actually paid attention to what the company was. I was just fascinated by it.
Because, I'm not going to be like, oh, good for them. So it's a diamond mine.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
I don't know.
I think he had to sell his plane or something. And people were making fun of him for it.
Gravity is the name of the company. What do they do? A medium-sized credit card processing company from Seattle. So they started losing a whole bunch of money, and he was talking to one of like just the regular workers day to day, and she was working at McDonald's part-time because she was making so little at his company, and that's what made him pay everybody a minimum of $70,000. He's like, that's unacceptable. Nobody should have 2 jobs to work for me because I'm the CEO. And so he started paying everyone $70,000, and since going nearly bankrupt in, I think it was 2015 to now, they've quadrupled revenue.
And look at the advertising it's brought them to.
Yeah,
right.
Everyone wants to work there.
Yeah,
you get the best candidates, right? Because everybody wants to work there.
Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, minimum $70,000. That's pretty sweet.
Do you need me to hit the button?
Let's hit the button. So we're out of here.
Oh,
but
we're done?
Yeah, we're done. We'll be back on Thursday, where we will actually do best Leaf team of all time. Will it include Wendell Clark? So you do your research. And we're going to do our way too early predictions. We're talking NHL, divisions, players, awards, all that stuff. We will see you Thursday. It's going to be wild one today, huh?
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.